just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Well, at least you can't accuse me of playing the same old, tired, overplayed Christmas crap that the retail stores have been playing since Thanksgiving. It's that time of year again, and the camera has reset, so let's set that back so we don't go all Smurf-a-vision here. It says I still have the same settings, but I know it switched to automatic because the camera's... So let's go all foggy for a minute, and let's just refocus this. One of the drawbacks of having a camera that does its settings via software is you have to move slider bars in Windows programs whenever it resets itself, like when you close and open OBS because you want to reset a playlist. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay. It is the wee hours of the morning on Friday, the 16th of December, 2022, which means I need to change the darn title. Oh no, I fixed it already. Okay, good. Get that back in the spot where it belongs on screen number 2. But all the Christmas stuff is out. I would have been probably going live a little earlier because, but were it not for, it's past the middle of December now. I think it's about time I did the Christmas stuff for the year. It's just like earlier night shift today, aka calendar yesterday afternoon, my dad stopped by to drop off my Christmas card at the Geek House for the year and say hi and stuff like that. And he was... I showed him what was then an empty fiber optic tree with no decorations on it. So when I moused over my start menu taskbar thing, which auto hides in my main system monolith, I saw, wait a minute, it's the 15th of December already. I should probably put up the Christmas decorations if I'm going to have them up at all. So that's a new tree, by the way. It's more symmetrical. The old one was a couple of years old, and it was kind of going off to the side because I was storing it wrong during the off season. So I should probably store it standing upright when I take the ornaments off of it for the season because it was really starting to become like flattened and going off to the side. But that's what I get for taking like a $10 fiber optic tree that runs off a USB and trying to make it last for years and years and years. I should treat that one better, store it upright during the off season, or hey, maybe just leave it unplugged as like something resembling a fake house plant with no ornaments or lights. Now you gotta put the other stuff up. Also coming back out of the closet for the season is the Bah Humbug hat. This thing is a freaking relic of the holiday humbug season here on this channel. This Bah Humbug Santa hat is as old as this YouTube channel. I've seriously thought about wearing this to work around the time we have our holiday luncheon and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't want this thing to get dirty. This thing's a freaking relic at this point. This hat is as old as my channel, sort of. I picked it up in 2006 when I was first getting involved on YouTube. So I bought it in 06 for videos I was recording around Christmas time in 2006. So this thing is about as old as my channel. So it's yet another piece of evidence that I'm old. Let's be blunt here. Let's totally be blunt. This is how old I am. When my channel was first getting started with terrible little Kodak digital camera, 100 megabyte max, 240p mono sound YouTube videos, because that's all you could do back then, 10-minute limit. And when I got this hat and stuff like that, and I did the holiday special, which I think is still on the channel as a retro reel all these years later, the iPhone hadn't become a thing yet. Smartphones, the closest thing to a smartphone was Blackberries and other like flip phone descendants, would-be flip phone descendants with actual physical keyboards, pop-out keyboards like Blackberries and stuff. It kind of like attempt to a business version of the Cybeco, for those of you that know the history of all of that. So this thing, we go back. We go back. It's an established tradition on here. If I want to wear a Bah Humbug hat somewhere, I probably should get another one. So that way we don't put the wear and tear on the original. As this thing is the OG. So yeah, as the title of the stream might suggest, whoa, 2022's almost over already. We're going to be going over some things that have been piling up for chat streamy type stuff. Gonna keep these chat streams at 4,500 for a bit rate, so we can, see the stability and stuff, see if maybe there was a problem at YouTube's ingest or something like that. Don't push the max limit to these bit rates, plus I'm only doing a webcam thing anyways. And for some reason, I'm a little under the weather, probably because the weather keeps changing. We had, snow, and then we had a cold snap, and now it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So we're going to have rain and mud, January thaw style, right before Christmas. And then we might get an actual snowstorm right in time for Christmas. So typical New England, unpredictable winter weather, which is exactly the reason why, for those of you unfamiliar with the tradition of the Christmas tree here at Jay's Geek House, that's not just a Christmas decoration. As you saw, when I put it up way too early, according to some people, that thing is a Christmas tree, and it is also a winter tree. So after the Feast of the Epiphany on January 6th, the ornaments are going to come off. The ornaments come off, and it stays up in fiber optic only mode as a winter light and a giant middle finger to New England winter for what is known as the long, gray, cold stretch of suck, which is January, February, and sometimes March when it comes to New England winters. So USB tree definitely pulls its weight as a fiber optic light with some, it works off of fiber optics, but that tree is probably the only RGB lighting thing that I actually have. I don't do RGB lighting in computers. I don't believe in computers doubling as light shows. I think the money and the power consumption in a computer system should be invested in actual performance and not glitz, glimmer, and looks. So I don't bother with RGB lighting, especially when in today's world of gaming PCs, the minute you can put the G word on something, it's automatically an excuse to jack the price. Or if you put a bunch of RGB lighting, now it's an excuse to jack the price. Me, I don't care if I have a blue Darth Vader style plain fractal design Define box, like the Define R5 I use for my main system. I really don't care. I really don't care. It's about practicality over looks. So your pretty light show is going to be fun for about 5 minutes, unless you're using it as a room light or something. Your pretty light show will be fun for about 5 minutes, and then you'll be trying to tune it out the entire time you're playing video games. And then earlier today, night shift today, I was actually watching Hot Chubby playing Portal 2. So, and she was having trouble seeing her own screen because of all the lights she has with her streaming setup. People were like, yeah, you got too many lights. Streamer lights getting in the way, and maybe some RGB in the computer as well. But I think it is possible to overdo it on RGB. Like, why is RGB lighting as popular as it is? Seriously. Why is RGB lighting as popular as it is? So yeah, that thing's basically my only real RGB light. If you took the tree off and you looked inside the base, you'd see a bunch of RGB LEDs inside. They're randomly changing color. That goes up the fiber optics and produces the colors that you see on the tree. So still running those Dollar General Christmas decorations from years ago into the ground. There's little empty spots on the garland now, but can you see it from here? No. So I will continue to be, as my dad would say, fiscally conservative, aka a total cheap ass. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is going to be one of those discussions that probably a lot of people watch after the fact, and I know people are watching after the fact because I am receiving some comments and some compliments because of some of the stuff that I've been doing. I cannot believe, out of all places that I thought I would run into people being nice about the chat streams and the stuff I talk about, I'm very surprised that it was on Twitch that I ran into this, quite by surprise, from a daytime streamer today. But first, a little acknowledgement of the night here. Let me click over on screen number 2 to Vendalia's stream. There's a drop campaign, right? Oops, open a tab. There's a drop campaign, right? Get Ouroboros Crown Crate, watch for 1 hour, and claim... Oh, I will be streaming for more than an hour. All right, let me see here. Let's see what she says. Actually, can we unmute it? Well, she's doing stream raiders here.
Five more subs. I think it's 5 more. Looks like 5 more.
Now, you know what? Let's quit being a dumbass about this. Although it wouldn't be good for me to show chat. I don't know if folks want their messages being shown on a stream on YouTube. So let me just do sound. Let me just do sound only. Unmute Twitch for a bit. Let's see here. Let's do the
new battle has begun. Whip mouse I'm down.
All right, let's do the owl.
All right,
and let's do. Where's the Twitch global for popcorn?
The
emotes are different on my thing here.
Not looking like it.
There we go. Friendly owl and popcorn. She probably won't say anything. Lurk.
And we're leaving on an airplane in
/lurk
in 2 days, so I'm really
come on, stream elements. MultimediaJay has chill stepped into a place of pure lurk. And now, without further ado, 3, 2, 1.
Pause. I mean, not
mute. It's drop stream time with the launch of the Christmas event. It is drop stream time with the launch of the Christmas event in ESO, the New Life Festival, Ouroboros Crown Crate for watching for an hour. So here we go again with ZeniMax propping up. We can go to another browser window to check this for myself. Here we go again with ZeniMax propping up Elder Scrolls Online via drops on Twitch, as opposed to game improvements, while sending this pretty letter around about, oh, we're going to get away from the year-long adventures and work on stuff it's going to last. Well, let me just link up to, let me go to browser mode, link it to Chrome, hopefully it grabs the right one. Don't link it to VStream, link it to the Elder Scrolls directory. This is a trick that ZeniMax has been doing all year long. Well, they've been propping up ESO on drops, because people like free stuff, even if it's a dopey little Ouroboros Crown Crate which usually consists of stuff you get from your daily login reward, so it's not even worth keeping the stuff in there. It's worth it to convert the Ouroboros crates into gems and then get stuff from the gem part of the Crown Store for free after you've watched enough drop streams and enough drop campaigns, and ZeniMax has been doing everything they can to prop this game up. And it's pretty sad. Let me refresh this. This is from before going live. Viewers high to low. You can see the peak here is V with 258 concurrents. Safnir 185, Bert at 184, No Lollygaggin 163. Tyranny has cracked the 100 mark. But you're talking about it's 1 a.m. Eastern, probably off-peak hours for So about 1,400 concurrents for the entire category right now. Meanwhile, World of Warcraft Dragonflight, World of Warcraft, from 1.4K up to 86.8 thousand concurrents. And there's esports organizations doing races to world first and stuff like that. Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is at what? 3,000. So even Final Fantasy is bigger. Final Fantasy, hey, look, VTubers. Gee, I wonder. And how about Star Wars The Old Republic? Been playing a lot of that lately. Let's see. Ooh, 192 concurrents. Sad, too, because, I mean, this game does have some nice story in it, and even the VTubers are playing Star Wars. So, let's back it up to ESO. Oh, yeah, drop stream time. It's, but if I go to Sullynome, though, let me actually load up Sullynome for Elder Scrolls, and let me see if this is real, if this is doing anything. Sullynome, well, I can tell you that Twitch still remains in the skids. They took a hit during Thanksgiving. First time I've ever seen them take a hit during Thanksgiving. So it really makes you wonder what's going to happen with concurrence over the Christmas holiday. It's been a dip for years, more so after the pandemic started than before. Let's take a look at this data here. What are they back to most recently? 2.2 million concurrents site-wide, which corresponds to what back in 2020 when they were on upswing of this? October. So they're at autumn, basically autumn numbers. Autumn 2020 numbers, that's typically the worst they've done. Yeah, but I'm curious what the Christmas holiday is going to do. I can't say that Twitch is really making itself very, very appealing to a lot of people with how they're going nuts with the ad incentives and stuff. It just strikes me as Amazon squeezing the living daylights out of their subsidiary. Because remember, Twitch does not occupy the same position under Amazon that YouTube occupies under Google. Twitch is valuable to Amazon whether it succeeds or not, just via Amazon owning the IP that purchasing Twitch brought to them. They have a completely separate system through Amazon Web Services where companies can purchase essentially the base technology of Twitch to use for their own internal live streaming. And so Amazon isn't exactly a huge tech company in that sense. So it would make sense they would get this kind of technology through an acquisition as opposed to developing it in-house. And why spend time developing a Twitch competitor when they can just buy Twitch? At least that's probably what the rationale was a couple of years ago. Then just have people funnel through via Twitch Prime and stuff like that, funnel people through the Amazon Prime. I don't know at this point, but you've seen what's happened on Twitch with ads, the controversies, the rules, things along those lines. Sometimes I wish Elon Musk had taken over Twitch instead of Twitter. It'd be interesting if Twitch got shaken up by the way Twitter has by Elon Musk buying it. I don't think Amazon would relinquish it very, very easily, though. But the important thing to remember, and let's be blunt here, especially when I'm receiving compliments about my data nerd stuff that I do on here, which I never thought I would. The important thing to remember when it comes to this whole situation, not only are the numbers changing, but Twitch is changing as well. Twitch is trying to, in some ways, catch up to their far larger competition with the technology they deploy. Twitch has algorithms now. You can be algorithmically introduced to streamers of multiple sizes by poking around on Twitch long enough and giving the system an idea of what you like. Their algorithms are cruder than YouTube's, but they're still doing that kind of stuff. They're still doing the same fundamental thing that algorithms try to do on these social media platforms. Try to save you from digging around finding something to watch. It tries to learn, these systems try to learn what you're interested in and then send you stuff that they think you'll be interested in. It's a very different thing from the viewer's perspective than it is from the content creator's perspective. Speaking of which, sound check, be interested in. Okay, that sounds normal. Good. I did get a sound reset from a graphic driver upgrade, but fortunately it's not making me sound super compressed like it did that time before. So yeah, the important thing to remember, Twitch is different now. It's not just going to be about the biggest streamers coasting by because they're always at the tops of directories. The default setting for pretty much everything right now is the algorithm. When someone first comes to Twitch, they'll be introduced to some larger streamers. But when those larger streamers and their egos inevitably burn people out, then they'll start trying to find maybe, you know, more humane streamers that are not being a giant narcissist with thousands of concurrents to watch. And maybe they'll make their way through the ecosystem and find some new people. The problem is Twitch being a live streaming platform, there is an element of grinding involved in people liking you because you need to be accessible and available for people to watch you live. Now, over here on YouTube, I kind of salvage everything by having everything designed to be watched after the fact, so that way people can treat it like a YouTube video if they're not up in the wee hours of the morning, stuff like that. So, and there have been some people that have started to figure this out, and they've been watching regularly, and it's actually a situation where, yeah, terrible views, but when I go look behind the scenes at the watch time, it's low views with higher watch time because they are listening to my conversations and my discussions, or maybe having me as background audio. They're basically people are finally starting to get kind of accustomed to this podcasty thing. Not that they need to do it here. There are people that have done podcast style YouTube videos for years, especially in the tech world. Great example, Adored TV. He has like still pictures. All right, guys, how's it going? With that Scottish accent of his that makes him sound really cool. So it's really, really cool. Probably because it's different to us Americans, maybe even to some British people. I don't know. Definitely to us Americans. But he sounds pretty cool, and he knows his stuff. He does a ton of research on AMD versus Intel and other stuff. And he like bounces between static images in his 20-minute, 30-minute conversation videos. So podcasty style YouTube videos have been a thing for years. But for some reason, it's live streaming that's new. And considering that live streaming starts essentially stepping into the bucket, as we used to say in baseball, when you swung the bat wrong and had a higher chance of striking out, because there's an inherent problem with live stream culture because of Twitch, there's this thing that the audience needs to get over, if that's even possible, that live streams are never worth watching after the fact because all the fun comes from being live. Well, if you show up with some showmanship and you create something that doubles as a podcast afterwards, then that changes things. It's not like I'm just sitting here waiting for Fortnite queues to pop. Not that I would anyways. I'm probably way too old to ever play Fortnite. At least, yeah. I don't want to be a de facto babysitter over the voice comms and have someone's kid cussing me out because they lost to me in Fortnite or something. Plus, I don't like Epic Games. Let's be blunt. Epic Games is one of the news items this week was that Epic Games is shutting down the remaining online that's still working for the classic Unreal Tournament games, getting shut down. There's plans to bring back functionality for Unreal Tournament 3, the 2008 version of the game. But those classic versions that have inspired so many memes over the years, UT99, 2003, 2004, gone. So they're getting like EA with this crap. And I just got to say, let me just go full cam for this sucker. Epic Games, stop insulting my generation, please. If Quake can have an esports title of all things, if there can be a descendant to Quake 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament does not need to be thrown into the dustbin of history just because Fortnite offers more chances to sell microtransactions. Got it? Where were we? But yeah. Epic Games, stop insulting my generation by taking a dump on the Unreal Tournament series because of Fortnite, please? Or do you not want customers above a certain rather young age, I might add? You might be affecting some 30-somethings at the rate you're going. I realize 18 to 34 is a very hot demographic for marketers. And come on now. Life is full of enough ways that we as human beings get punished for essentially having too many birthdays. Ah, seriously now. All right, so yeah, Twitch is fighting this whole decline because what goes up must come down when it comes to the gains that they gained during the pandemic. Go to the long-term stats. We can also look at Elder Scrolls Online too. So here's the by month. The green is by month. You see another skid, 2.35 for November, which corresponds to 2.38 October of 2020. This kind of brings everything together and averages it. The dots are for peak viewership. Let's look at Twitch affiliates. Twitch partners, of course, there's a core group of about 30-something thousand partners, and some people, like Devin Nash, I believe, argues that there's too many partners and it should be even more exclusive than it is. But look at all the Twitch affiliates. 1.29 million down to 985,000. So I was making fun of this during TwitchCon, that the Twitch folks will brag about stuff, but they won't talk about the 200,000 Twitch affiliates that have stopped streaming during this year. But yeah, Twitch has been in a skid. Twitch has absolutely been in a skid. And so imagine that translates over to Elder Scrolls Online. Show me the game category for Elder Scrolls. Come on, autofill, you can do it. Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, let's hit enter and see what happens. I think I froze it. Let me get out of the long-term stats. All right, search for a gamer channel in case Sully Gnome's having some bugs. Elder... Oh, hold on. The Elder Scrolls Online. Whoops. 365 days, please. The hours watched for... Oh, yeah. Look at all those negative trends. Oh, boy. Here's a game that is not done well because as Twitch has declined. Oh, boy. It's definitely carried over to ESO. Down 17 points over the last 365 days, down 17% in hours watched as a game, 26% in hours streamed as a game, 17.4% average concurrence, and this takes into account hype events and drop streams, things like that. Down 27% average channels live, but the viewer ratio is going up, which makes sense given the hours streamed versus the hours watched. The decline, people are giving up on this game, so the audience is getting split among less and less among the remaining channels. The max viewers for hype, like when High Isle launched, up 7%. I don't care about the max viewers. I don't care about instantaneous measurements. It's like talking about speakers and PMPO versus RMS wattage. When you get those scam folks on websites, 1,000-watt speakers for $20 because they're 1,000 watts PMPO and they're like 10 watts RMS. Some more people, I guess some more people are getting into ESO in terms of unique broadcasters. But ESO is in a state, for the last 365 days, been in a state of decline. There was, when there's patches and other stuff, they can have some fun things going on. But I saw ZeniMax has done a lot to try and fight the skid on Twitch. They've been really trying to fight the skid on Twitch with drop streams and some hype events and things like that. The launch of High Isle, of course. Then the launch of the DLC for Fire Song. But in between all of the major launches, they've had some problems. They've had drop streams galore. I'm not a fan of drop streams because they do what I'm doing right now with Vendalia's stream. It gets a bunch of people that are just there to farm drops. Sometimes there's some harassment and some other stuff from people that don't normally watch the stream. They'll go to a chill stream and not know what a chill stream is and be like, Vendalia is boring. Like, it's called a chill stream. Why do you think chill streams are called chill streams, genius? So, either way, I guess I said all that to say this. As we're getting it, since we're basically going all over the board with stuff that's been going on since the last time I streamed as the year comes to an end, let me just say this. This is totally going to require a clickable program guide later. So, Twitch in 2023, it's going to be the end of an era. We've seen the skid. We've seen the dip in viewership around Thanksgiving, the first major U.S. holiday, affecting the U.S. market, of course. Maybe not so much Western Europe, but we'll probably see a bigger dip for Christmas because what goes up must come down. President Biden did that gaffe. The pandemic's over, but we still have a COVID problem. President Biden's been a gaffe machine for many, many years. He's infamous for the stupid stuff he says that ends up with his foot in his mouth. But if you're a pro-virus COVID apologist, whatever, of course you're going to jump all over this little gaffe of his. But the bottom line is, with everything that's been going, despite all the airborne crap going around right now, COVID, flu, RSV, there are so many people out there pretending everything's over. So it's got to affect Christmas, just like it affected Thanksgiving. People are probably going to be less likely to sit around watching streamers, and I'm very curious what the dip is going to be for Christmas this year. But this is just the beginning of what's to come. I've described the state of streaming and Twitch as what's called a shakeout in the world of business. A shakeout is when a market contracts and the weaker players have to shut down and go out of business because they can no longer compete. It's a way the market regulates itself by removing weaker competitors. It probably can't be as competitive on price, service, etc. That's why it's so important when it's not like this to do everything you can to be competitive. Because eventually the axe falls and you don't want your business to get taken out in an elimination round, so to speak. Always the question in business, if not you, then who? And this, I understand what the labor movement pushes for, and I agree with some of it, that people should be treated with respect. There's a lot of dog-eat-dog, zero-sum competition going on in the world of business, especially in more competitive markets. You eventually will run into a situation where the weaker players just can't stay in it anymore. And we're about to see that. 2023 will be the end of the era of the pandemic streamer. Period. There's going to be a lot of crap going on. There's going to be numbers dropping. There's going to be people retiring from streaming or diversifying away from streaming. There's going to be all kinds of excuses as to why people are not going to be as live as much as they used to be. And there's going to be people having mental breakdowns, not only because of what's happening, but also because it finally hits them and their egos that they have attained internet fame because of a once-in-a-century pandemic virus. A terrible thing that has upended life as we know it and killed millions of people around the world. That's why these people have a career in streaming. The people who surged in 2000 or stuff like that. That's why these people are streamers. And it's something that I think if you are succeeding because of this, you have to just keep pushing into the back of your mind and trying to ignore until you have to face the cold, hard reality that this lemons to lemonade thing is why you're anything. And what do you do with that? Very, very sad and bleak. What do you do with this? What do you do with this being the reason why you were able to do this? And I don't know if a lot of these streamers that have been fighting against this decline, I don't know if a lot of the streamers that are fighting against this decline and have been fighting against this decline are going to be able to come up with good answers to this. Let me talk about IRL streams in particular, because some of the more controversial things that have happened to me this year have involved people deciding whether to stream at home or go out and do IRL. So there's a situation with IRL streamers where in the worst cases, they've lost 2/3 of their audience. The only way they get numbers anywhere near where they were at during the peak of the whole pandemic thing, the only way they get numbers anywhere close to that is to go on big, lavish trips. Problem. If they don't have, those trips cost money. So their longevity as content creators depends entirely on whether or not they can keep Oilers around that can fund this stuff. Then what do you do if the Oilers think they own you as a streamer and they start doing weird stuff or things like that? There have been some streamers having to make the tough choice to ban Oilers who are getting unruly. And then what do you do with the rest of your audience? When people start thinking, well, it seems like this person who used to be fun-loving and enjoyable 2 years ago now won't even talk to you if you're not at least a tier 3 sub or an Oiler, because all the Oilers get VIP. Everybody else gets ignored. What do you do with that? So you see where this is going? There's just no happy ending to this story. But when the money dries up, the IRL streamers can't take the trips that they need to get viewers, so they are stuck at home, can't stay in the game, and things decline from there. It's going to be ugly. I cannot, with any clear conscience whatsoever, recommend anybody be a streamer, myself included. You know, I'll play some games from time to time. I'll do some chat streams from time to time. But for 2023, I actually want to develop a more algorithm-friendly set of commentary videos. Think McFly. Ooh, that hurt. Ugh, super sensitive. Maybe I need to change how I wear the sleep mask and stuff to cut my snoring at night. Ugh. It's weird because I took the blow to the head that's been screwing me up across here where the headphones are, and this hurts though. Oops. Well, you know, some of my haters might like that. It's evidence that I'm not as dense as they think I am. Whatever. All right, back to the rather sad topic here. I can't recommend that anybody be a streamer, myself included. I mean, I'll do this, but I'll keep the hybrid model so people can watch after the fact, which I know they do. But streaming just isn't the best way to talk about topical stuff. So for 2023, I'm going to develop a commentary format similar to maybe what you might have seen from Tech Syndicate. Oh, wait, there's a... No. I got like a zit type thing there. That's what I hit, and that's what hurts. Oops. Yeah, I should probably pull the hair aside or something, or maybe shave or something down and see what's going on. Ugh. Dan says, I can see streaming for fun. Yeah, well, that's what this whole content creation world needs to remember is you can still do this for fun. Why have we developed this culture where we're number nuts, especially when one of the first rules of being a data analyst is you have to know what goes into your numbers. Numbers by themselves are artificial and synthetic. You have to know what goes into them. If I have 100 concurrents on Twitch, I need to know what's going on with that. Did I attract some bots? Are they lurkers? Are they haters who are trying to report me and get me banned? Or am I actually building a fan base? My chat doesn't have to be the fastest chat in the world, but, you know, not everybody who watches you, subscribes to you, listens to you, whatever, not everybody is, number one, a person, number two, a fan. And then there's the embed thing, like what happens with, what was that guy's name? Zynode Gaming or something? There's a website with a lot of like builds and stuff like that has embeds of the stream going on all the pages. So people go look up like ESO build guides and stuff, and this stream is running in an embed. They're not even watching it, but they count as a concurrent. So this is something Devin Nash has done some videos about. There's a bit of a problem on Twitch, just like there was on YouTube in the last decade with non-human channels. I did that conversation about bots, aggregators, and non-human channels in the early 2010s because I noticed that stuff was happening, and I recognized some of the people subbing to me on YouTube back then as being aggregators, like when Chris Perillo subscribed to my tech videos. It wasn't really Chris Perillo, it was his Locker Gnome channel, but he was subscribing for the purpose of if I ever covered a topic that was interesting enough to put into his then chat streams that he was doing, he could extract show material from my tech videos. And there are other organizations that do that. BuzzFeed is infamous for doing that. In some cases, lifting footage from smaller YouTubers to put in a top 10 videos. And then if the original YouTubers raise a stink, they can even get DMCA'd for it. It's one of the uglier things that's gone on YouTube in the past 10, 15 years. There's that kind of stuff that's also a big issue as well. So, yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty because we're going to see the flip side of all this. So the way it is with COVID right now, the BQ variants are dominating everything. But now, you know, we don't really have one boogeyman variant like we had with Delta and Omicron. It's just whatever is going around. And the thing is, I realize Dr. Jha in Washington, D.C. calls them the Scrabble variants because of all the letters involved. We could also call them the alphabet soup variants if we wanted to. A lot of what we have with the COVID variants is they do kind of the same thing, but they sprung up in other parts of the world. Like XBB, for example, tore up Singapore. But it has similar characteristics to the BQ variants that are dominating here in the United States. So XBB was able to carve out a niche for itself to the point where it was being tracked by the CDC separate from BA5. But it's not really getting all that big. So this thing shredded Singapore, but it's having a hard time over here. So kind of crowded over here in the US, don't you think? So that's the thing. There really is, I mean, COVID, I've been doing some very serious critical thinking. One of the big reasons why I'm wearing masks right now is because the other stuff that's going around, flu, RSV, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stealth transmission and stuff like that because people are pretending they don't have it if they don't get severe symptoms. And that's how COVID's getting passed around to vulnerable people, and why our hospitalizations here in Connecticut have been consistently higher than at any other non-Omicron point in all of this. Because people are sick of masks, they're sick of distancing, they're sick of everything, and they're going around pretending they don't have it. If they're hostile towards fighting this thing, they're now going around pretending it's just a cold. That way they don't have to lose money by being out of work if they can just muscle through it. And I even talk with HR. There's not a thing the company, the 9-to-5ers, can do about it if people are pretending they don't have COVID. So honest people get punished. If you're honest enough to say, I got COVID, you're forced, and I'm staying home to protect others, you are going to have to burn your sick time. You're going to have to fight to get to not have your paycheck get disrupted. You better have time to cover it, and you will be forced to give up your sick time, which is the only thing that keeps you from getting attendance infractions if you have problems later in the year. There were people who got infected with Omicron in January that destroyed all their sick time for the year and could not miss work the entire rest of the year because of this. And what has HR done about it? Nothing. What does that do? It creates a very, very, very big incentive to work sick, which is how I probably got it and how the janitor at that place probably got it, because people crap out the virus when they use the bathroom before they become symptomatic, if they become symptomatic. So with everybody doing this crap, who really cares about COVID anymore except the people like myself that don't want to get it, that don't want to find out the hard way what cumulative damage multiple infections will do to you over time? Which is what we still don't have a good answer for that yet. That's the last big unknown with this thing. If it gets to the point where it literally is just like flu and, you know, it just knocks you flat on your back and you blow a sick day or two to get over it, stuff like that, then maybe we can relax. But for now, you know, we got all these masks. We made them for the earlier stage of the pandemic, and now they're cheaper because less people want them and the demand is dropping. So I actually bought a few extras of the KF94s, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, for that kind of stuff. But this represents a fundamental attitude change that's going to affect live streaming. It is absolutely going to affect live streaming in 2023. It's going to affect the audiences people get. It's going to affect who does what. And it's going to affect, especially in the more expensive formats like IRL, who's able to keep doing this. Because at some point, is it really worth it to be an IRL streamer if you're spending money to go on all these trips and you're not getting your money back as much as you used to, and you're putting yourself through all that? Then what do? How do you reinvent yourself? What do you do with that? How do you reinvent yourself? How do you What do you do about your audience? How do you keep yourself going? And this is a big reason why I am pushing so hard for part-time content creators to not be upset about being part-time, and for full-time content creators who are in the skids to not destroy themselves by crying about having to go back to having a regular job. No, there's never been a problem with that. Because you got Zoomers and alphas now. I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. Congratulations. We have a bunch of people that want to be internet celebrities. Who's going to want to do the regular jobs? Here in Connecticut. I'm out here in the woods of Connecticut. You get a job around here full-time doing stupid-ass warehouse work, driving a freaking forklift. It's very easy to come in at close to $20 an hour, if not at $20 an hour in the higher paying places if you got more energy and can handle getting run around the building more. And still, these places have a hard time keeping people there. You see people come in 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and they have zero work ethic. Understandable for Gen Z if they grew up with their childhood getting disrupted by the Great Recession. So they see their parents when they were kids. Everybody else had a happy childhood except them. I tell this story a lot because I think it's really more relevant than people think it is. You're a Zoomer. You're born in time to have your childhood damaged by the Great Recession. You saw mom and dad lose their jobs. And have to work terrible jobs. You can barely make the rent. Things are getting more expensive, etc. Why would you listen to people talk about old school work ethics and being loyal to your company and stuff like that when that is literally everybody else had a happier childhood than you? Literally everybody else had a happier childhood than you everywhere you go because you had this crap split your childhood up. Pre-layoffs, post-layoffs. Why? Dan, being an internet celebrity isn't a big deal. I've seen people hiring at the plastic plant for 20. We have some plastic plants around here too. They're hiring people around that. People don't want to. That actually requires you to learn how to make something as opposed to put stuff in the tote, put stuff in the box, seal it up and send it down the conveyor. Easiest money you're going to make. You don't have to deal with customers. Just pick the orders correctly and pay attention to what you're doing. You can get the job down to muscle memory and be able to just do it like that every single night without having to think much about it. And people still quit and get fired. That's what's going on around here. I'm working with people half my age and getting more done than them. I'm the old guy. I'm 40. I'm working with a bunch of people that are 19, 20, and I'm working circles around them. I'm the old guy with the gray hair, the back problems, and enough of a generational gap with the Zoomers that they treat me like their dad, like their grumpy old dad. So, and it's just really, what has this world come to? So yeah, we do need to rediscover not only recreational content creation, doing stuff for fun, also making videos. Streaming comes with the baggage of having to be live consistently and commit to it, destroying your free time at the same time every single day consistently. Now, here's the thing. Your consistency, if you can't do it all the time, isn't going to matter as much. There's a couple of really friendly people that are part-time streamers that will never go anywhere on Twitch because they only stream 2 days a week, while the big streamers, you can find them almost every day. Same time, same channel. Because they're big enough and have enough money coming in order to be full-time and just cook every afternoon like Cuco or something. Hi, I'm going to try making a cake today. I'm going to try cooking lunch for Lakari. Da-da-da-da-da. She's cute, by the way. But she also does other stuff like OnlyFans. It's a lot spicier, if I remember right. It's just the family-friendly element of what she does is on Twitch. But this is also going to be a source of what we're going to see next year. People are going to be bummed out, depressed, and maybe even have breakdowns and stuff and go on about mental health because they lose the ability to keep doing this like this. And now they're going to lose their competitive edge and have to basically step down and step out of contention. It's not going to be pretty next year. So I say, be a content creator more so than being a streamer. And I'm not the only one that says that. All right, what do we have with this drop stream? What do we have to go here? 90% progress towards Elder Scrolls Online, Ouroboros Crown Crate on Vindalia. Good. I imagine that this will be done by the time I get back. What are we at for lifetime? About 50 minutes in. Well, we're at the end of one of the things I want to talk about here. What we should do, let's get up and stretch, refill drinks. I got to make some more drinks too. Play some music from DJ Williams, who released a bunch of Christmas music to the White Owl, acoustic guitar stuff, really mellow, chill stuff, which I think will be the perfect way of paving the road, so to speak, for a discussion about Airiesummer and some streamer stuff that's been going on. And one of the reasons why we're having this conversation tonight. In the midst of all this Twitch decline and all of this boo-hoo-hoo stuff and all of this me being all Chicken Little about things, I'm getting compliments because of my chat streams. I never thought I'd see this happen. So let's repay all the nice words with a little bit of conversation about her situation as well as the stuff she was responding to, clear the air on a few things. And for now, though, let's get up and stretch. After all, I'm an old guy and the doctors say it's good for me. And so do some video games if you play them. You've been playing for an hour. Please take a break. Guild Wars. Hope that doesn't get too dull or too repetitive with the DJ Williams holiday guitar stuff, but it's only a couple of weeks, so I will keep the decorations going until the end of Christmastide on January 6th, but I will on beginning of Epiphany and stuff. But I don't mind dropping the Christmas music after the actual Christmas holiday. I look at Christmas as a dual holiday of sorts. The religious stuff is Christmastide and stuff like that. But I mean, the rest is just like be nice, be charitable, ho, 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 Santa Claus, buy presents and stuff like that, and celebrate the end of the year. A very commercial, very American holiday that was pretty much reinvented in the 1800s after certain parts of the country were banning Christmas celebrations for religious reasons. So I have some rather maverick views on Christmas and don't mind playing a few Santa songs around this time of the year. Where are we at on the drop stream thing? I guess I was wrong about that. I think I gotta be watching for a couple more minutes. Oh, it says 100%. That must mean it's like about to pop and I'll be able to, or am I going to get it automatically? Usually the way these drops work, I have to, let's see here. Click claim. Oh, I can click claim now. No, it's just Twitch is slow with my other stuff. All right, what's this? Oh, there's Overwatch stuff. Who cares about Overwatch? The name of this campaign is called Happy Holidays ESO Fam. Reward progress beginning. Oh, there's another Ouroboros thing beginning on Monday the 26th. ZeniMax and those Ouroboros crates. Whatever, man. Anyways, kind of a hat tip to V. I'll just leave that going for now. Give her some watch time. Give her some watch time in the concurrent as well. And kind of pay it forward. The whole supporting streamers thing and things along those lines. So anyways, let's talk about a couple of things related to content creation as well. I mean, this is kind of multimedia meta type stuff here. So let me just see if my YouTube stuff. Yeah, yep, it's showing up correctly now in Discord. Good, because I've joined Aries Discord as well. Also joined Tyranny's Discord. There's a lot in this conversation today about kind of dealing with tying up loose ends with stuff that's been going on, and some of it's a little bit older than others. But I think we need to go back to browser mode, take a look at ESO. Concurrence, set it to like 90 days. 90 days takes us back to, how about 180 days? Take us back to maybe a little further than that. Take us back to when Hi-IO launched around June of 2022, and we can see the decline for itself. We know Twitch is in a state of decline. It's going to get ugly. Next year is the end of an era, because I think the whole pandemic streamer thing is going to end next year. And browser mode. Here's ESO. Here's the state of decline when it comes to ESO. Purple is pink viewers, green is RMS, so to speak. Purple is PMPO, green is RMS. But you can see the launch of Hi-IO, there's hype and stuff like that. And then there's also some other things like Firesong DLC and some other events that take place that bring in some viewers here and there. But it's a flash in the pan. And some of these other spikes are drop streams. Twitch, or ZeniMax has been going wild with the drop streams, more so than usual, even though it's just Ouroboros crates. And I was making fun of how ZeniMax is doing Ouroboros crates when, for the launch of World of Warcraft Dragonflight, Blizzard had a mount that you could get as a drop by watching streamers. The differences between ESO and the other major MMOs are something I make fun of on a very regular basis. And it's part of how I kind of, sort of see eye to eye with these negative YouTubers that make videos criticizing ESO all the time. I don't entirely agree with what they have to say, though, but they do have some somewhat valid points here. So this is the backdrop. This is the backdrop against things for the context of the conversation that we're going to have regarding Airiesummer. So Airiesummer is a chill streamer. She does daytime chill streams. I jokingly call her Vindalia, same as the as TTS Brian pronounces V's name, because she is kind of like a daytime V when she plays ESO. Chill streams and stuff, and she even stopped doing Cyrodiil all the time. Will actually do things like PvE and other parts of the game as well. But she actually had some nice things to say on her stream about me today. And interestingly enough, she had nice things to say about what I do in the chat streams. So that's cool. I didn't think anybody would actually say anything nice about these things. I thought people were just putting up with them en route to like a tech video or something. The multimedia meta is even an in-house term that I kind of use on my own to refer to all of this. It's not really anything with regards that's anything official. Just I call myself MultimediaJay, so I kind of cooked up the term myself because we are talking about multimedia stuff like it's some kind of video game meta or some kind of strategy to follow when playing video games. But yeah, Airie is a chill streamer. She actually plays a variety of games nowadays. Plays a variety of games, sometimes talks about things, has a YouTube channel with some meditation-y type stuff on it. I don't really understand some of it, but I do think because it's just her voice, and I think she's kind of doing the whole follow your voice thing. Like people say I sound like a radio guy. So here I am doing something akin to talk radio. She's very, very chill and low key and relaxed. So of course she's going to have relaxed videos, but because it's just a voice track in the videos she has, I wonder if I could do like a remix of sorts to do an ESOJam with relaxing Elder Scrolls scenery and then add a couple of effects like echo and reverb to her voice to make it sound even more relaxing and relaxy and meditation-y and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a silly idea I'm tossing around. It's just a silly idea I'm tossing around because I've been doing stuff with ESOJams lately. Made a Christmas video, of course, but we'll talk about that some other time. So here's the situation with Airie. She apparently liked my industry insights and stuff. Now I don't go out of my way to be a Devin Nash clone. I just been involved in this stuff long enough, and I have a background in data and numbers that because Twitch makes it so easy to follow the numbers, I can follow the state of Twitch. And I can tell you that the numbers, as well as the PR and what goes into the numbers, informs my decision to be a YouTuber, even if it damages my ability to have an audience when I stream. I know that streaming isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Streaming, I think, holds people back. If you feel like you have to do what the AIP ad incentive program says and stream a certain number of hours every month, that's basically you letting Twitch assassinate your free time, which if you're a full-time content creator, you're also letting them destroy your ability to be creative and expand. And I've seen lots of evidence out there in the online media world that streamers are getting burnt out and they want to diversify, that they want to make sure that if Twitch contracts next year, they don't have these problems. So we're seeing people go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Vindalia is doing YouTube shorts, which is interesting because she's had conversations on stream before about how editing intimidates her. And I'm starting to wonder if I should do some kind of stream like this, Late Night Nerd Lounge, where I actually work on a Wacky World of MultimediaJay episode, where I actually edit together a video. And I'll just say, if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this, etc. And you see, what happens when you standardize your editing and, make things into what it entails and stuff. Because there are people out there who consider learning how to edit to be a barrier to entry to going from streams to videos. If they started with streams, the idea of having to edit scares them. But short form gives them little bite-sized editing abilities. And with TikTok, it's through the app. So you don't even need special software. So one of the things that I think I might want to do next year, do streams of creating videos for Wacky World of MultimediaJay or something like that, and just showcase what I do. It might be crude to some people, but I just want to help people get over how scared they are to make videos, because the idea of editing for hours scares the heck out of them. Now, the way that I developed with my own channel is that I've homed in on a specific format. There's little things here, like, for example, an opener, an opening theme, the sound effect, the Wacky World of MultimediaJay. And then, of course, things get edited together relatively tight, so to speak. I don't like there being a lot of empty space in the videos. And, of course, the raster clips, because it's a throwback to old school television, when you change the channel. So Had to figure out when to use them to not have it look too much like you were channel flipping in the 90s with the videos. But I would actually love to take the offensive on this, so to speak, and be part of the reason why people stop being so afraid of editing. Because really, I mean, videos represent freedom. When you have an audience that stops treating you like this online friend that must be live all the time in order to be taken seriously, and they start thinking of you similar to like a movie director or something, like, what's the next Steven Spielberg movie going to be? What's the next Jerry Bruckheimer movie going to be? Now, and you're known for what you make. Oops. And you're known for what you make. I tripped the Google speaker somehow. You're known for what you make as opposed to just pointing a camera at yourself. Okay, they shut up now. I can get back to normal. So this is something really, it's freedom though, because you don't have to constantly destroy your free time at the same time every single day, every 2 days, 3-4 times a week, or, you know, you're not competitive versus the people that do. The very kind of grind mentality that consumes people on Twitch and destroys their mental health. And I'm saying it again, especially as these Twitch streamers who rule the roost, they're like 30, 31, 32, as they continue aging. I'm waiting for one of these big Twitch streamers to have their first heart attack on stream. And Twitch will freak out and they'll have rules and they'll suddenly be like saying all these things about we must have work-life balance, etc. And then that becomes part of this problem. Those older streamers who've been sitting in chairs for hours every day, grinding away as full-time streamers playing video games, not getting enough exercise, it becomes like the worst office job you could possibly have. Being stuck in a chair, sedentary, other health problems you can have from just sitting too long. As opposed to, and some people are investing in sit-stand desks and, you know, they're trying to get exercise. But if you're somebody who does like XQC or Amaranth levels of streaming, it's just not healthy, and it won't be healthy in the long run. I can tell you that one of the reasons why I do what it is that I do for a living with the local warehouse scene, besides, of course, they need good people, is the physical aspect of it helps keep me in shape, so I don't have to remember to go to the track every day or go for a walk or lift weights or something. So, and it's had a positive impact on my health. If I stay away from work too long playing video games, it starts to get bad for me, and then I can correct that just by going back to work, even if I have to ease back into it instead of going charging back in when I've been sedentary too long. And getting COVID in November was probably the biggest example of this. Anyways, we're looking at a climate of decline on Twitch. And Airiesummer has done one heck of a job fighting tooth and nail against it. Although she's had trouble with it, like many other people on the platform right now, she's not where she was. And that's the important part here. Now, another good thing I like about Airie is that we're very, very different people. There are probably very serious, irreconcilable differences between us. One of them being our attitudes towards what we do and the format that we do. She likes to do like more safe spacey type stuff. Like, oh, you know, don't get anyone upset. Everyone should be, you know, friendly and happy and feel welcome. And it's very, very chill because she's a chill streamer. Whereas I don't want to lie to people to keep them happy. And I don't want to tell people to shut up when it comes to telling the truth. I don't want to be somebody that lies to people to keep them happy. And I don't want people to have to feel muzzled because they're too afraid of telling hard truths. The only way you deal with problems is to face them head on. You can lie to yourself and play the ostrich game and put your feelings over the facts for only so long before it catches up to you. It's why I don't agree with the fat acceptance movement, even though I've been overweight for many, many years. Because I know full well the laws of physics are what they are. Force equals mass times acceleration. As long as I am as heavy as I am living my life at war with the laws of physics. It is a chronic disease as long as I'm overweight. It is damaging me, taking years off of my life and causing me to end up with health problems and on medications, and it could very well kill me if the wrong thing lets go because I've been overweight for too long. That is a truth I'm willing to accept. And that is a responsibility I'm willing to accept as an overweight guy. And I am absolutely not going to make up this fairy tale about how I can be fat and fit at the same time when, because of my extra pounds, every step exerts more force on my joints because I have more mass to me. I'm not going to lie to myself to keep myself happy. Some people call that anxiety. Some people think I might have depression or whatever. It's really just me being honest and realistic. In an environment where people forget that reality can be cold and hard, and you have to know how to deal with it where it is, as opposed to making it into something that it's not. Life isn't a Disney movie, and quite frankly, fairy tales and other literature we've written are often an expression of what we wish could be the case rather than what actually is the case. We wish we could be the knight in shining armor that always runs off with the beautiful princess at the end of the tale after defeating the dragon. That's not the way that life works. But we can always dream, we can always imagine, we can always make ourselves feel better through things like art and literature. So, I first found out about Airi and her chill streams and whatnot in this chunk of stuff when she was like 100 concurrents maybe. This Doldrums, which I believe was all ESO. ESO we know is very limited. It has limited appeal among it's a once you know kind of game, which is why I want to talk about that video I made that only got 20 views to clear the air with people who may not play a lot of ESO and wonder what the heck I'm doing with ESOJams and these other videos. Doesn't have anything to do with whether you're interested in ESO or not. It's a form of machinima, and I'm not talking about the MCN. We'll save that for later though. But look what happened. High IO launches and Airi goes crazy with all of this. Shoom! She goes to the moon on concurrence. And now she's happily a 3-digit concurrent streamer. Even though she's declined, she's still better than she was over here. And this is something that you see from streamers when they take it too personally when things change. They go from here up to here, then down to here, but they're upset because they're no longer here instead of happy because they are no longer here. Do I have a pointer? Yes, I do. Thank goodness. From here to here to here, but they're sad they're not here anymore when the truth is they're here instead of here. So she's talked about business strategy and she's talked about picking games and things along those lines. So she does have some strategy to what she does. And I think it's pretty decent. Nowadays, she's a variety streamer. And by the way, the other big ESO streamers I watch, like Tyranny and Vandalia, are branching out as well. Tyranny was already a variety streamer who played other games. V has played some Guild Wars 2. She's a regular with Stardew Valley. Doesn't have as many games as she plays, but Airiesummer has played a lot of stuff at times when it was popular. So she's done an incredible job fighting tooth and nail against the state of Twitch, while also having presences elsewhere, as well as her relaxing YouTube channel. Although I don't know. I don't know if the algorithms are going to be all that friendly to her because of how it's not really ASMR, but it's not really like 10 hours of a relaxing river to sleep to. So it might be she might have algorithm problems on the YouTube side of things. A lot of her videos have like 10, 20 views, except for one big long relaxation suite that has like 3,300 views. But anyways, why are we talking about Airi? Airi was very, very nice in her stream today. And she said, "Oh yeah, I really like your commentary of the industry and stuff." Well, thank you. I didn't think anybody would say anything nice about that stuff, but Airi says lots of nice things about people. She's one of those people that gets me thinking about how edgy I am with my constant attempts to tell the truth as to whether I should, just be a little bit friendlier about it. Spend more time like trying to make people laugh and stuff instead of always being the walking encyclopedia nerd that I very often gravitate to. Airi and I have this in common despite our notable differences. We're the kinds of people that can get other people thinking about either themselves or what we're saying. We're good at getting people's gears turning. And I can definitely say I can definitely say that with the way she is on stream. Different style, different attitudes, different everything. But it's great when notably different people can say nice things about each other despite their differences. You don't see a lot of that in this incredibly tribal world we live in, where there are hotheads on Twitter that will block you at the tiniest little disagreement, or hotheads on Twitch that will ban you at the tiniest little disagreement and wonder why they never go past 10, 20 concurrents as a Twitch affiliate, because the only people they keep around are emotional windbags that 100% fall in line in their echo chamber. There is zero toleration of any kind of diversity of opinion on anything. You disagree with them on the tiniest issue or one hot button issue, bam, you're gone. You're blocked, you're banned, and they try to report you. Real nice people, huh? Then their lack of growth gets turned into another victim narrative, blah, 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 blah. I call it the ASS, angry small streamer thing, which is a very edgy term, I know, but again, I don't want to lie to people to keep them happy. There's small streamers out there that are in a cycle of perpetual anger that they are never going to get out of because they have to completely change their mindset in order to do it. Thank goodness Aries not one of them. Either way, let's take a look at the last at what's been going on since June of 2022. How has she approached all this? Now, the other thing too that I think is in play with her stream is that she probably would have declining numbers across her most popular games if she hadn't gone from ESO to Variety at the opportune times that she did. So in a way, the numbers are rigged. She rigged them, and we can't make those comparisons because she chose to make the moves she did at the time everything was happening, at the time Twitch was going into skids, so we can't compare anything. So it's pretty smart, actually. She's done a really good job of navigating this garbage. And as long as she doesn't take it too personally, that Twitch is in the skids. They don't have very good PR, and they're very good at marketing themselves, but people eventually smarten up and see past the marketing pitch. They see past the tiny little 140 million monthly active user platform making itself look like it's any kind of competitor to like billions of MAU platforms like Facebook and YouTube, the stuff we talk about on here. So once you wake up from the Matrix, it's a completely different world with Twitch. It's one of the reasons why I'm very seriously thinking of shutting my account down. Yes, I got Twitch affiliate, but I really can't find anything to stream on there except once in a while. My Twitch channel will definitely not be worth taking seriously. I can't take Twitch seriously because I can't stream there without walking on eggshells with all their extra rules that the YouTubes of the world and even the Facebooks of the world don't have. So let's take a look at what Aerie has done here. But I do consider it an incredible thing that the two of us can complement each other despite our differences. So let's go back. Oh, and before we take a look at these numbers, let me just clarify. She said on stream today, night shift today, so technically yesterday morning, that she thought I was in her chat because she was talking about a piece of streamer drama that I was making fun of on Twitter earlier. Not really. She started stream at 9 in the morning, and I saw her at like 5 concurrents, and I was like, that's probably Airiesummer getting her stream started. I've never been in her stream this early before. I woke up essentially in the middle of the night because I'm night shift. I woke up essentially in the middle of the night, and I'm having trouble getting back to sleep. She's a chill streamer. So all this time, I'm like, why the heck would I watch a chill streamer like Airiesummer in the middle of the day? Now I have a reason. If she starts streaming at 9 in the morning and I need to get back to sleep... You know she's talented because she does chill streams of Overwatch. That's all you need to know about her skill with keeping it relaxing no matter what game she's playing, because of her demeanor, how she sounds, the way she has her setup, even the little spinning raccoons or whatever it is, the little cutesy animal emojis that she has. Excuse me, emotes. We're talking about Twitch here. She's pretty good at what she does. I'll tell you that much. I never thought I would doze off to someone playing Overwatch and get the rest of my sleep and wake up refreshed at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. But it would take someone like Airiesummer to make that happen. She is definitely a night shifter's best friend when they're having trouble sleeping. And it's watch time too. I got my Twitch summary for the year this year. Just Keth is my #1 watched streamer of 2022. Some of that is because she streams when I'm going to sleep. So I fall asleep to her doing something in Thailand or one of her other trips, or on some trip she has around the world. And, well, that's tons of watch hours, technically. I'm not active in the chat because I'm sleeping, but, and I wake up to, like, her doing something else later in the night. It's like, oh, that's part of being a Twitch streamer, you know? People using your stream to help get some sleep. And you get some watch time out of that and a concurrent that doesn't click away. All right. So, yes, the reason why I was in her stream so early was not because of the thing she was talking about. It's just because I would happen to be up at that time. And I was like, oh, Airiesummer just went live. Well, let's see what she does at the very, 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 very beginning of her streams. Instead of, 1, 2 in the afternoon, she's in the middle of Overwatch. Like, oh, she's playing Overwatch again. But there's an interesting discussion about there's a drama incident involving someone whose mother died, and she went into a streamer's chat. I'm not publicizing this guy because he's a jackass, but Twitter has been dogpiling this. Twitch streamers on Twitter, which I think is a bunch of clout chasing, by the way, have been dogpiling this guy because he was like, hey, where have you been? And she's like, oh, my mom died. She's like, don't bring those and he was like, don't bring those negative vibes to my stream. This is like very antagonistic. And then he doubled down on it in a so-called apology video that was kind of like a corporate thing more so than anything else. But first off, the angry small streamer scene on Twitter is playing Two-Face. Now they're screaming that this guy should have shown more compassion to this woman who had her mother pass away in his chat. But I've read posts from angry small streamers screaming at people for coming into their chat with their problems, that streamers aren't your therapists. So which is it? Make up your mind, Twitch streamers, instead of interpreting something for the sake of clout chasing, which damages your credibility and gives people a reason to not take you seriously. Full stop. Seriously now. So I made fun of it on Twitter. I didn't even link any names or @ names or anything. I just made fun of it. Didn't even mention names because I'm chuckling at all of this. People are making such a big deal. At least until the usual haterade spout gets turned off like an old garden hose. If you grew up drinking out of garden hoses as a kid, you get the reference. Until someone turns off the spout and everybody moves on to the next thing and this guy stops getting dogpiled on the internet. So, well, yeah. Today it's about, this should be compassionate. And next, some other time, it's going to be about streamers aren't your therapists. Don't bring your problems to people's streams. So they're going to flip-flop on this depending on what gets them clout and brownie points on the internet from people and potentially more people watching their Twitch stream, which is what you do when you're on an itty-bitty platform like Twitch that doesn't have robust technology like YouTube does. Although YouTube can be a pain in the ass too. But at least the technology's there, so you can rightly criticize the platform for not deploying it well enough, like the algorithm very often is, when it shuts you down and doesn't let you have an audience. A lot of times because it doesn't know what to do with you. But that's another discussion. So, I wasn't there because Aerie was talking about this hot button issue. And I don't know if she really took a side in it either. I think she was doing some strategic ambiguity with how she was like, well, yeah, streamers aren't your therapists, but you should show some compassion. And it's just like, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes it's not, this is something I said on my Twitter too. Sometimes it's not worth getting upset about these people that end up getting dogpiled like this. because you get past all of their nonsense and you look at the hard numbers and you see that it's a self-correcting problem. The jackass that was not compassionate enough to his audience member and probably one of his fans. She apparently was a regular in his chat, by the way. Excuse me. The jackass streamer who brought this dogpile nonsense upon himself is a Twitch partner where if you look at this data for him and you see the surge in viewership that he has, the only reason he's a Twitch partner is because of the pandemic. He's a perfect example of somebody who is only something on Twitch because of this virus. More so than the other streamers who've built bigger audiences than him. He is one of those faded Twitch partners that got partnership and then declined. He doesn't even have the concurrence to get partnership if he were kicked out of the partner program and hasn't had them in months. The decline on Twitch, as it has been in the Skids this year, has knocked this guy very squarely back into affiliate territory with his viewership. So he better watch his mouth. Instead of continuing to run his stream into the ground like this, because what is again? Look, there is this idea that there's no such thing as bad publicity. The problem is, it's all about that word we use a lot on here, demographics. If you attract a toxic audience, they become your problem. They hurt your ability to be successful. They hurt your ability to even be happy with what it is that you do. And they can damage your ability to even use features of the platform that you're on. Just look at a Twitch streamer with a toxic audience that can't raid anybody, because the minute they do, the banned people are now unbanned until they get banned in the other channel, and they can make them look bad. Now, look at the Twitch streamers with big toxic audiences that have to walk on eggshells so their own audience doesn't go harass others in their name. So, no. It's one of the reasons why I like Airiesummer, by the way. She has a very quiet chat, probably quiet enough that some haters out there will be like, she's buying bots or something. But hey, a quiet, level-headed, chill stream chat that's always friendly about stuff, I will take that over a bunch of angry kids spamming L's and W's all day, any day. That could be my age showing. That could be a generation gap thing. But yeah, it does come down to people, doesn't it? Once again. Let's take a look at what Airi has been doing while she's been fighting these Twitch issues tooth and nail. She started out as essentially an ESO streamer doing PvP a lot of the time. I was happy when she finally did something besides PvP. Looks like she's done some variety before. This is the concurrence column, by the way. So let's go to the launch of High Isle, which was in June. There we go. 60,000 people, 1,700. Yeah, and there's been drop streams that have been jumping her numbers up and stuff and things like that. Maybe there's people, that came for a drop and they stayed for something else. But you see her integrating other variety games in there. We can actually drill down on some of these streams. Let's drill down some of these streams to see what the effect of the other... she got a raid when playing the other game. It's another thing you're going to see if you drill down on some of these streamers next year. You're going to see them propped up by raids. But the important thing here is to see where's the life if you're a variety streamer. It's probably not going to be with ESO because of how overly chill, overly badly publicized the game is compared to other games and RPGs out there. Yes, I am not happy with the way that ZeniMax has marketed Elder Scrolls Online. I think they are failing terribly compared to World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. So, let's see here. A little bit of variety there. Let's see here. Thing is, though, Elder Scrolls has had plenty of concurrence to go around, at least while the drop stream trick still worked. So, there's been other tricks, too. There's also things where streamers tried to boost their numbers by doing collabs all the time until they got suspicious of each other, trying to steal each other's audiences, and created these dynamics now where they can't go live at the same time because they've shared audiences too much. So that's another story altogether. Here's Stray. We know Stray, cute little game you play as a cat. It was a day one buy for me, and I still haven't played it. It's one of the games in my Steam backlog. Yippity-doo-dah. Let's take a look at this 21st of July stream. Yeah, Stray, the new game. Yeah, there we go. Remember ESO kept around 100 concurrents? Well, welcome to the thousands territory. Now, another good thing about Airi is that instead of just being a game streamer, she really positions herself as a personality of sorts. There's a style to what she does, and she doesn't deviate from that style, no matter what game she's playing. I joked about how she's doing chill streams of Overwatch. That's actually the right thing to do. People know what to expect from you, and it's the same reason why personality streamers are able to play any game they want and basically have an audience follow them everywhere, because they've attracted people who are interested in them as personalities, as opposed to are they interested in the game, not interested in the game, etc. But there's Evil Within, etc. It's a Stray. I don't know if this is no rocket thing. Is Goat Simulator. Well, what happened here? What's this just chatting thing? When was the activity here? Okay, so again with the personality thing, you can be strong with just chatting. So we're not getting propped up by anything here. This is legit. She got people to like her. I've been playing too much Star Wars: The Old Republic as somebody from the Sith Empire. The dark side of the Force. Let's see here. Yeah, so where's Goat Simulator in this stream? Looks like maybe it was just mostly a chat stream and there was an itty bitty amount of Goat Simulator in here somewhere. All right, let's see here. Evil Within, just chatting. So you start to see the variety show up. ASMR. Of course she's eventually going to get into ASMR with the style that she has. How'd she do with that, by the way? It's kind of like a second... that's just chatting. She did ASMR to start. And that's where the activity was. And then chatted about a few things. But still, at the worst part of the stream, 456 concurrents versus being stuck at 100 with ESO and ESO PvP for the longest time. So we see here some very smart moves. Genshin Impact had some promos going on. I was watching a few Rei streams because she was playing Genshin, but for the same reasons. Because Rei, as a gaming personality, I like her chill style and whatnot, even though she plays mostly MOBAs, games I don't really play. I don't play Fortnite. I don't play Dota. I don't play MOBAs at all. But if the right person plays them, I find them interesting to watch because of their personality and style, not necessarily the game that they're playing. Let's see here. Finally, a return to ESO on the 11th of August. Let me guess, it's worse than Genshin Impact, right? Yes. A couple of spikes higher with Genshin, and then things drop off afterwards. But, come for the ESO dailies, stay for Genshin Impact and the promo that was going on. I think I have some drops for Genshin that if I ever actually play that game and actually install it, it's a backlog game. It actually did. What's this? Final Fantasy Remake. That had something come out as well. So you see a move to variety here. A move to variety here out of the doldrums of ESO. There's Valheim getting into the mix. What's this? V Rising Doom? There was probably some kind of event for that. Fallout. Also charity streams as well. I think she's doing something for Fallout for some children's charity. So that's another nice thing to be doing around the holidays. Disney Dreamlight Valley. That game came out. Let me take a look at this. The Goat Simulator is probably a chill game. I'll bet she plays Lawnmower Simulator as well. Right at the very beginning. But even with Goat Simulator, she just builds this audience, this personality audience that watches her no matter what game she's playing. So great way to break through that ceiling, so to speak, as opposed to being known for a game and your channel dies the minute you change games. So let's see here. Yeah, we basically see a mixture of things. Basically a mixture of things. If there's events going on, gets involved. That probably does Twitch bounties because she's partnered and stuff along those lines. A little bit of Dead Space, things like that. And then we get to today, just chatting. Today was a night shift today. So Thursday, 15th of December, she said she was going on vacation. So comes in, chats a bit, plays some ESO, then goes to Overwatch. There you go. Going to variety, becoming more known as a personality than being tied to any one game. But she also has that kind of a presence. She also has that kind of a presence on other platforms as well. particularly YouTube, which swings very wildly from gaming into more straight up meditation and relaxation type stuff. So that's actually really, really cool. It's a great example of what some streamers can do, but there is the element of rigging the numbers. She probably has the same decline problems as anybody else, but she gets to artfully disguise them because she went variety at the time Twitch started to really skid. So, but I can't really, I'm not going to say that's anything bad because it's not. It's smart. It's good. You know, you don't want to feel like you're wasting your time on these platforms. So you don't want to spend forever being stuck at 100 concurrents, then slide down to 80 or something as your audience gets bored with ESO because the game goes into a state of decline. You cannot fault her for doing what she did. It's smart. It was the thing to do. Yeah, I mean, it fogs the numbers up. But you know what? Streamers have been doing this all over the place. They've been experimenting with more stuff. They've been collabing. There was that thing last spring where personalities were collabing all over the place to hide their just chatting declines, and then getting suspicious and not collabing anymore because they were sharing audiences too much. Or there was one situation where people were developing stream audiences off of the coattails of someone who was already established, kind of like what a lot of these streamers are paranoid about with no self-promotion. Yeah, this is not an airy thing. It's going on all over the place. But I really think that her position is one that is incredibly smart. She has the right idea and will probably weather the storm better than most. I don't know if she's full-time or part-time. But heck, there's YouTubers that are taking corporate jobs. Billy from the Game Chasers mentioned on stream once that he doesn't really have much time to do anything other than play video games on his streams on Saturday nights because he actually took a regular job that he couldn't refuse. So we have to get rid of the stigma that exists about content creators having real jobs, and we have to get rid of this stigma that streamers are somehow failures if they move away from grinding away for hours and hours and hours. Because I'm not the only person who looks at data and looks for insights in the data. I'm not the only person saying stuff like this. The state of live streaming, as we've known it, with all these people grinding away and probably sacrificing their health on the altar of concurrence on Twitch, of all places, it's not healthy or sustainable in the long run. And if things stayed the way they were, we would see this become a huge problem in a couple of years as these streamers who passed the big 3-0 during this pandemic started heading more towards being over 40 and maybe developed some health problems as a result of what they've been doing in their 20s and 30s along the way. Check back in about 5 years. Maybe some of these streamers getting old and losing their popularity, so they have to stop streaming full time and grinding away so much, will be the best thing that happens to them. Because they might actually see their 50s now. Because they're not going to destroy their health doing what they were doing in their 20s. And I can definitely relate to damaging your health when you're young. I got through college 5 hours of sleep a night. Primarily on caffeine, Diet Coke with lemon, energy drinks, all kinds of crap. And then when we got into senior townhouses in college, I cooked for myself and ate salt bomb hungry man meals, TV dinners, beer battered chicken and cheese fries. What was another one that I used to eat? There's something like fried chicken and something turkey breast. Then I got out of college and I was buying like Encore lasagnas and meatloaf meals. All this terrible salt loaded frozen food that you just heated up in the microwave. And I feel like it asked for it. Now I'm here with the blood pressure problems. They run in my family, supposedly. But you know what also runs in my family? Not eating right in your younger years. Obesity-related illness, because we get fat and we don't do a good enough job taking care of ourselves. So, I don't know. I'll leave that chicken and egg thing for another day. What do we have for lifetime? 1:40:56. That's about an hour of talking about this stuff. Let's get up and stretch again. We got some more things to talk about. I told you, this would be a tying up loose ends type thing, and there's still some more things that I think we shouldn't leave on the table, especially if I want to pivot back into more videos, because I'm in big trouble when it comes to tech videos. I literally have clutter in the house now from stuff that I need to decide whether I want to get rid of or not, because I want to make videos about it. More evidence that streaming too much just plain sucks. We'll be back. I like these DJ Williams songs. If you don't know, DJ Williams, he actually got big enough now that I can do @links to him right now, but there's some other DJ Williams characters over on YouTube. But does the Winamp thing still work? Yeah, it does. If you're wondering who DJ Williams traditionally has done, like rhythm and bluesy type stuff. Let me see. Let me add something here. Whitetail Music Stand Assortment, 75 and lower. He did this one. You might have heard me get into, this song. How loud is this? That's loud enough. Just as a sound check. Heard me get into, this. Yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, skip ahead. Love it. My dad would like it too. Lots of nice rhythm and bluesy type stuff there. But I actually use that as an opening theme numerous times. It's in my standard assortment of songs too that I will use with YouTube streams and the like. It's one of the reasons I stream on YouTube. I like, there's people like, it's good that YouTube's going to have some kind of music licensing eventually, because then you don't have to use some crappy free song. Crappy free song? These are YouTubers. These are music YouTubers that are submitting music and having to give up the rights to their music in order to do so, by the way, that are making this stuff. And I think there is a style to it. You just have to know how to curate it. So I'm very, very seriously thinking of doing chill streams around Christmas time, because Christmas and New Year's are both on Sundays. So we're going to have long weekends for both Christmas and New Year's. Don't have to schedule any more time off, which is good because we have people that have already taken weeks off at that point. Yeah, we'll be, I probably might do some chill ESO or whatever with the New Life Festival or something like that with those DJ Williams songs. So those are acoustic songs, very different than what he's made before. Yeah, I might check out some more holiday stuff, but it's great that we have this chill stuff that we can use. So during the Christmas season here at the end of the year in 2022, I will probably be using all those DJ Williams acoustic solos for intermission music and other stuff. Might put it into the gaming streams as well. So the last thing I want to talk about before we get to, we'll do something else before then. The last thing I want to talk about is the ESOJams. What the heck was the situation with that video, that Christmas video I made with the comfy Christmas sweaters, Lily Pichu song? Before we do, though, a little bit of some unfinished business from our conversation about the whole Jay Streazy thing. Excuse me. So I got my Twitch recap for who I've watched the most. What's the humidity down? 43%. Yeah, that's why it's so dry in here. I got the recap for Twitch, and it was pretty bittersweet. I mentioned this on Twitter. Because on the left were good people who I think should get more views. Vindalia is one of them. And on the right were people that I used to be a big fan of that I'm probably never going to watch again. My top streamers in order were Just Kath, IRL streamer from Thailand. And she's got a smart-ass attitude, which is what I like. A little bit of sass helps with streaming as opposed to taking everything too personally. Yugi, with only 4 months, #2 watched, one of second most supported. Vindalia is now my most supported streamer of all time with like 20-something months with between the Twitch Primes and the regular subs. Probably going to bring Tyranny into the mix as well next year. Now that I've decided to be a little bit less amped up about a few things. Third place was Vindalia, but I've also supported her the longest out of any streamer out there in terms of who I've been subbed to the longest. She's the new queen on Twitch as far as how long have I been subbed, some way, shape, or form. And, of course, then fourth place was Jay Streazy. Sad. I mean, I was hoping he'd be the person I watched the most with the stuff he was doing at the beginning of the year, but then he chose to do what he did over in India and just make himself look like a terrible, terrible person as a result of all of that. Now, a little bit more details on what happened. Apparently in India, there's a lot of, what's that? Oh, it's her dog. Yeah, her dog's pretty cute too. I was wondering what that picture was. Someone must have redeemed the thing where give the dog a treat. He's so cute. But anyways, the thing is, apparently over in India, there are gossip YouTubers that are very heavily stylistically inspired by Keemstar. And so I think those are the people that were giving him and Mhyochi a hard time because, oh, you're milking the incident. I had more of a problem with, like I said earlier, with him milking what is essentially a sexual assault. You know, you don't make jokes out of crimes. There's an entire, like, social movement over here in the West about ending, about ending the culture of making jokes out of crimes like that. And it's something I really think, I really think we should do that because probably some of the dumbest humor, the humor that you will probably outgrow as you get older and a little more smarter about things, is the humor that goes for the lowest common denominator. Like stuff you do, like stuff you find funny when you're a kid or something, or 12 or a teenager or whatever. You might still laugh at it, but now you're laughing at yourself when you're in your 30s and 40s. The stuff you used to laugh at when you were younger. In part because you're embarrassed and it's nervous laughter. So, or you're just like making fun of yourself in your younger years. But Streazy crossed the line, and it's really too bad that he did. The situation with Mhyochi, though, I am not so angry about. And there's a very specific reason for that. Let's go back to browser mode and link it up to Chrome. There's a very important detail that all of these people throwing conspiracy theories about Mhyochi are forgetting. And that is, she is incredibly inexperienced as a content creator. Either that or she was something else before she adopted some persona. But if that's the case, why on earth is she calling herself a sprouting content creator? Account created middle of 2022, 14th of June. I looked at her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is just as rookie. We don't have a situation with somebody who should be implicated in people's conspiracy theories here. We have a situation with somebody who is being mentored by someone who is probably not doing as good of a job mentoring her as she might think. I looked into some other situations with her where somebody doxed the restaurant she was streaming at. She freaked out about it. I really don't think she's the malicious party in what's going on. I think Jay Streazy is in over his head. And he had the wrong response to that whole mess earlier. I think he's in over his head trying to mentor her. And he wouldn't be the first one to do that. There have been other streamers that have pitched themselves as mentor type figures. People like Cooksucks and whatnot. But if you watch what they do, especially if you're an experienced YouTuber, you've been through some crap over here, you'll know these people are leading these people like sheep to the slaughter. It's like, no, it's terrible. Talk about amplified pooled ignorance and Dunning-Kruger crap. It's just like all these people that are telling streamers they need to be edgy. Over here on YouTube, there are people making edgy videos. And you know what's happening to them? They're getting demonetized. Because there are entire genres over here that are a lot more constructive as well as advertiser friendly. So, I wanted to make sure to clear that up. I think that Mhyochi, whenever she can, should get out from under Jay Streazy's thumb and find herself a better content creation mentor. And then the differences between what these people tell her will probably inform her a lot more than what has been going on here. But I am not going to assume that she's this evil genius trying to chase clout and stuff when she's only been streaming or doing anything since June of 2022. There's a little something out there called Hanlon's Razor. It's extremely important that you understand this, and I don't think you can be a streamer or a content creator if you don't understand this. Hanlon's Razor is, don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. Yes, there are situations where somebody is either malicious or incompetent. There is no third option. But don't assume automatically that someone's malicious until you have evidence of that. There's more than enough stupidity and ignorance and Dunning-Kruger crap in the world for people to just plain not know what the hell they're doing, including streamers. including content creators. Wait before you judge, so you don't look like an ass when you find out there was another explanation all along, but you skipped straight to Armageddon. They're bad. Oh, wait, they have no idea what they're doing, or there's some other explanation for it. Don't assume malice unless you know for a fact with evidence that there's something going on. The end. If you, content creator or not, can get that simple idea down, Hanlon's razor, you can save yourself a lot of unnecessary headaches and anxiety. A lot. The world's not out to get you. There's just a lot of morons out there. Some people, maybe they are out to get you, but they're not as common as the morons that don't realize they're doing stupid stuff to you. Don't chalk up to malice what can be explained by ignorance and stupidity and incompetence. I would say give people the benefit of the doubt, but just assuming that people can be morons will probably do a lot for you in that area if you're not yet familiar with this idea. And so that's the situation. I have both Streazy and Mhyochi blocked for the duration of this India thing that they're doing together. When she gets out on her own, I'll probably check out her stuff and see what she's learned and whatnot. Not that I need to anytime soon. There's plenty of other people to watch who don't have this kind of baggage. There was an incident, though, involving toxic people being attracted to her YouTube streams to where she didn't feel like she could stream on YouTube anymore and went back to Twitch. I initially thought, oh, look, she went running back to Twitch after all that crap. No, one of the reasons she did that was that YouTube is huge in India. So we talk about these gossip streamers and their toxic fan bases, and they start causing problems for her when she streams on YouTube. That's fully understandable that she'd go back to Twitch and wind up back on the inferior platform and not really progress in terms of growth too much. Last 365 days. Let's see. It's a scatter plot. She hasn't been streaming long enough for it to coalesce into a line. But before November, she got lucky a few times. Before November. Let's just set this to like June or something. I can't get a line out of this yet because there's not enough data. Yeah. Either way. Milk. I don't agree with that. Let's see here. Well, just chatting's orange, right? Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But there's plenty of people I could be watching that don't have the baggage of this situation attached to their issue here. All right, we're going to have to change it over to Firefox now. And let's refresh this and talk about this video that only got 20 views. And let me explain a few things regarding what the deal was with that comfy Christmas sweaters thing, as well as where this channel is going in 2023. So one of my plans for 2023 is that the tech videos are going to become legacy. It's an IT term for when things are old, but still around. Next year is 10 years of the wacky world of MultimediaJay. Now, the tech videos have their problems in today's YouTube. Specifically, the algorithms don't know what to do with them. The style is relatively original with the raster clips and the way I do things. It's probably not something you find a lot on here, which means that the algorithm won't know what to do with it as much as, say, videos by Level 1 Techs or Linus Tech Tips or something like that. And also, I've seen, of course, from people that like what it is that I do, that there is this affinity for the year 2015 with the heavy metal soundtrack and stuff. It also had the quickest opener, under 20 seconds out of all the seasons of the wacky world of MultimediaJay. So pretty much there's an expectation as to what the tech videos are going to be when I do them. Or even if they're for other stuff like around the house type stuff or tinkering with other stuff. There's this expectation as to what my channel is going to look like when I upload videos to it. So for the tech videos, I want it just basically set it and forget it. So we'll find a way at some point to end this season of the wacky world of MultimediaJay with the Harris Heller song intro. Was it called Hachi Roku? with the big guitar solo stuff. I liked the 80s theme. It went around with Geek House Dark Mode very, very well. But there's some things that the tech videos, there are some things that people expect with the tech videos, and that's what they're looking for. That's what they're going to watch. The end. Some videos getting more views than others. At the same time, on the algorithm side of things, YouTube is going to treat my channel and those videos like garbage. They've had a decade now to take over the channel in terms of views. They have not done that. Other videos, which are different in their subject matter and style, have gotten more views than the tech videos have, in part because the tech videos are as original as they are in terms of not resembling anything else. We live in a day and age, and let me switch over to Firefox for browser mode. We live in a day and age where, switch it over. We live in a day and age, there we are. We live in a day and age where the age of the pastiche is a thing on YouTube these days. You have channels making look-alike videos that all look like each other. I'll take those surveys later. YouTube will probably send them around to me again. We live in a day and age where people, can I close that menu too? Yes, I can. We live in a day and age where people are making videos that look like other channels. And so you see a lot of people making essentially the same kind of video, jockeying with each other to try and get the algorithms to pick up their videos, because the algorithm finds videos for viewers, not viewers for videos. And at the same time, I think that the topical stuff that I talk about could be condensed into a more algorithm-friendly and more 2020's YouTube format. Could be done quicker as well, and I could chime in on topics just like that without looking too generic, because I'm not going to have cheesy-ass calls to action and stuff like that. But here we go. So here's the most popular one. Dryer video, 182,000 views. Geek House Laundry, which has been picking up steam lately despite being an old video, 129,000 views. Windows 8 versus the Delosaurus, 124,000 views. This is the tech video that has done the best, and it's one from 10 years ago. This thing does not get... This thing is mostly like a cumulative score, essentially. It doesn't get the numbers that the appliance videos get. I predicted that it would get knocked out of first place years ago, and it still can't catch up to Geek House Laundry. The Play Some Stuff, my fitness coach from years ago, is why I want to be able to do gaming videos on here. Had to split it into 3 parts because of the limits on YouTube videos back then. It was 11 minutes because this one's 1042. Then we get to the tech video that's way more contemporary. Dell Optiplex 760, another Delosaurus, 35,000 views. And it's been stuck in the 30s for years. Same with the other Delosaurus videos. So... uglier side of George Foreman grills, with its mix of people that hate it because they think I'm a moron and don't clean my grill enough, is heading towards 30,000 views, and that is from 2019. This is also highly, highly outdated because at the time, Spectrum Brands was making grill plates for the Foreman grills that were pretty bad. They've improved their supply chain and what they make since then. But the thing is, the tech videos have never had something like this. And I think part of that has to do with the way the algorithm works in trying to hook people up with stuff. You look for a Magic Chef dryer or washer, this will probably be close to the top of the results. So this thing will win on search traffic and other stuff as people are interested. I think a lot of the surge in interest in the washer and dryer video around the holidays is people that might be thinking of buying a new one. So this is the duality of people and technology. This is the duality of people and technology that I talk about when it comes to content creation. You have people and technology as the two contributors to what it is that you do and what it's all about. The people will do one thing, the technology will do something else. So, as much as I've been upset about the tech videos not getting the views that the appliance videos of all things have gotten, and I've been made fun of for that, by the way. Look at this guy, MultimediaJay. He's a moron. His most popular videos are freaking washer and dryer. What kind of a YouTuber is he? His channel sucks. Yeah, I've gotten that before. crap I've put up with on Twitter and the whole 9 yards. But there's a reason for that. Nowadays, YouTube has the tools. Let me turn the side menu back on. YouTube has the tools through the analytics now with the reach tab and the audience tabs to keep an eye on new versus returning viewers to see what's powering your videos getting views. So I can see the difference between videos that the subscribers, mostly the tech videos, by the way, that the subscribers are interested in, and then videos that YouTube is pushing, albeit very quietly. They're not going viral or anything, but the numbers are slowly adding up. I often get surprised in like 6 months or so. So here we are, browser mode. We mentioned earlier that you can watch the algorithm by looking at this blue line for new viewers versus the purple line for returning viewers. But even so, there's also something related to percentage. Let me go to the overview for that one and see if it's there. Let's see. Content. Where's the subscribed, not subscribed split? Analytics. Oh, that's because I'm looking at the channel. That's right. We got to go to the analytics for just the video. So let's actually go to Geek House Laundry with the Magic Chef portable dryer. Let's go to Geek House Laundry and let's take a look at that. There's been a surge in interest, meaning it gets like 50 views a day sometimes. Let's look at the audience. There you go. Yep, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. And the algorithms are going to send it around a bit because people might be interested in buying new appliances for Christmas. Look at that. Look at all the new viewers. And these are people that don't really have to care about what it is that I do. They're just looking for an answer to a question. Watch time from subscribers in the last 28 days, 99.5% from people that aren't subscribed. Fully understandable that people who are interested in what I'm doing nowadays are not going to be watching something I did with a washing machine 5 years ago. Unless they're that bored. As this 0.6% of subscribers. As we see here. So YouTube has a kind of a dual thing that's going on nowadays. YouTube has a dual thing that's going on nowadays. You have what your fans are interested in, what the technology is pushing around. So with that in mind, I want to bridge the gap here with this video that I just put together to tell you folks, why on earth did I make a screwball ESO video? Why did I make a screwball ESO video? Matter of fact, let's go to React mode and kind of do, let's load it up. All right. Let's load it up and let's see here. Let's mute this. Get past the, there's no mid-rolls in it, but let's cue it up here. So once this skip button becomes available, you're not supposed to watch your own ads. Yeah. One impression out of the, oh, wow. There might be a penny that's wrong here. All right, we're cued. Go, is React mode, can we do React mode to this? Yes, we can. All right, let's unmute this thing. All right. So here's the video that only got 20 views. And then we'll explain just what on earth is going on here. Reaction mode, this is the video that nobody wanted to watch. And I'll explain why on earth I'm making stuff like this.
I don't even realize it's that time each year. Looking out the window thinking I'm still here. I sort of like the kindness, a jingle in my ear. Catch a little Christmas bug from me. Let's put on comfy Christmas sweaters and just stay indoors.
That's like me partying by myself almost.
Skip the chilly weather and make fireplace s'mores. Sleeping on the couch and let the tree light up the house. Feels like Christmas now. If we stayed here all year, would it be a crime? Kiss and love and chocolate to distract my mind.
I thought afterwards about how people with a juvenile sense of humor might make fun of this guy who's pulling a flower out of his ass. I'm not the one that programmed in this emote in ESO. Talk to the ZeniMax people about that.
Feels like Christmas now.
This is cute, though. Fortunately, there's an end screen on this one.
Now.
So you can just cut the music and just kind of talk about this. Just loop it over and over again and just keep backing it up. So this is a video that I refer to as an ESO jam. It's an idea that I have, kind of a pastiche actually, based on, if you've ever seen Calvinist YouTube channels, they have what's called sermon jams, where they'll take like a fiery sermon and put like graphics and pictures and photo montage it and make this big emotional something or another from some big preacher or whatnot into like this dramatic presentation type thing. And that's what they're called. They're called sermon jams. Well, I decided to pastiche that and do something like that with ESO, because I have the game, I'm established enough in the game with multiple player houses, alts all over the place, and plenty of purchases from the Crown store, as you can see, with all the Christmas decorations, as well as the lighthouse itself here. And I've souped up the game this year, thanks to Vindalia introducing me to Reshade with the Reshade shader, so the graphics look amazing compared to the default graphics, which are a lot duller. A great example of this, if you want to look this up for yourself, is look at the Merry Christmas from my ESO characters video that I made last year. So that has the no reshade. You can see a big difference in this exact same lighthouse with how the colors pop in everything. And by the way, this isn't how the game looks. The zooming that I'm doing is from the video editing software, because I'm kind of doing like photo montage zoom effects with video clips here. And of course, there's transitions and stuff too. There's character outfits. You know, if Elder Scrolls Online had something that Star Wars The Old Republic has, you could put like other characters in as NPCs. If they combined an idea from Star Wars The Old Republic, and let's look to the part where Lauren's waving hi. If they combined an idea from Star Wars The Old Republic with an idea from original Guild Wars, which let you create NPC followers out of your other player characters, your hero characters, essentially. If ZeniMax did something like that, the machinima potential of ESO would go through the roof, because if you have like backstories to your characters and stuff like that, you could make videos of your characters doing stuff, and it would spread the news about Elder Scrolls Online and help market the game. There is an entire group of players who play this game just for the player housing, just like The Sims. The Sims has people who aren't even playing The Sims. They're just making houses in plots of land, and they're buying DLC from EA, and they're showing off their houses on Twitter, Instagram, etc. So Elder Scrolls Online has some of that, but they could do so much more and attract more players that way, instead of having to brag in the dev letter that just came out this past week about how they gain players because they localized the game into more languages. So there's people that speak more languages playing ESO now because there's more languages supported. But I'm talking about, there's already people that play ESO that refer to player housing as a form of endgame. Imagine if you didn't have to resort to camera tricks like this in order to make it look like multiple characters that you have were in the same player house. Now, I could bring in house guests, which you buy on the Crown store, and give them like paths to walk and stuff, but I can't control their emotes and stuff like that. Like this romance scene where obviously what it's supposed to be, especially if you're familiar with the house, she's standing over here blowing Richard Goodmain a kiss, and then Goodmain is turning around and giving her a flower. Merry Christmas, dear. But you can't show that in the same shot, because unless you buy multiple accounts and lots of stuff from the Crown Store over and over again, maybe that's the intent given how ZeniMax monetizes the hell out of this game. Unless you buy the game multiple times with lookalike characters across multiple throwaway accounts that have access to the DLCs that can access all these player houses, you really can't do that. Yeah, and you'd have to multi-box essentially to film Machinima. So yeah, given the limitations of the game, only one character at a time, and I wanted to show all my characters enjoying Christmas. That's Elena Hawkford, the ice druid, kind of my Elsa character, so to speak. That's why she's out casting magic in the middle of a blizzard. So these are all characters, if you're familiar with my Instagram at this point, which I'll be doing more with Instagram and game screenshots in 2023, because I'm surprised there's people on Instagram that just do video game screenshots, and they follow you and they like you and they comment and they're nice people. So I'll probably do more of that next year, because I'm seeing results over there that I'm not seeing on YouTube with how the algorithm treats these videos like crap, because the algorithm doesn't know what to do with me. I make so many different styles of videos that the algorithm has no idea what I'm about. Supposedly videos are evaluated on their own, but this kind of like music video style thing, I don't know how many people into anime might remember. What's this? Oh, Dan beat me to the punch on this because I missed it in the chat. Let me just change this here. It's a good idea. It reminds me of fan-made music videos from the 2000s. That is exactly what I'm thinking about. I remember in the days of peer-to-peer file sharing, Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, etc. Back in the 2000s, anime music videos. People that would take anime clips or Final Fantasy cutscenes and put music on them. That's kind of what this is a descendant of. So that's kind of what this is a descendant of. Now, Machinima, let's say, I hope I didn't just break the stream. Hold on. Okay, good. Let me just put things back where they belong here. I hope I didn't just break the stream. Good. The sound still works and everything. So, yeah, that's the character inspired by my late cousin, by the way. I haven't played him very much, but I figured I'd put him in the video. Just don't turn the sound back on because you've already heard the song. That's Lily Pichu's Comfy Christmas Sweaters song that was super popular last year from Stream Beats and stuff. Yeah, AMVs. Yeah, I remember a few of those. There's a couple of 90s songs like, I think it's Feeder's Shade song, the little 90s grungy sounding things that I remember. And also Linkin Park's, not In the End. What's the other one called? Pushing Me Away. I was introduced to some songs from that time period because of their use in anime music videos. Nowadays, the anime companies are DMCA wackos that'll strike you for the dumbest of reasons. So, whatever. One of the reasons I don't watch anime, I don't want Crunchyroll or anime companies leaping all over me trying to make a fan video on YouTube or whatever. Or maybe I'm watching anime in one of my videos and they try to content ID or copyright strike. It's like cultural differences between the US and Japan on copyright law. It's getting a little crazy these days, you know? But that's what this is. This is an ESOJam. It's this idea I had. I also made a Merry Christmas video with a YTAL song from last year. And I also made a Game of Thrones style stream intro called The Genesis of Legends. That might remind some people of Game of Thrones. That's kind of what inspired it, because I had some friends at the time that were really into Game of Thrones. I don't have HBO service, so I've never seen it, but it's got this medieval kind of fighting stuff theme, so I decided to have a little fun with it. And the idea of ESOJams, there's been some stuff that's gone on to the YTAL, and there's going to be some deals for more real songs, not just by folks by NEFFEX either. But there's going to excuse me, been streaming too long. There's some stuff where I see them and I'm like, I want to make a music video of this somehow. I mean, this song kind of fits into the story my characters have. Richard and Lauren have a romance between them. They are a couple. Richard and Lauren have a relationship with each other, and I might bring in some more stuff to the story as well. But these characters have people have been saying nice things to me in game and on social media about these characters and their style, the armor and the stuff like that. And that's just one of the things you can do in ESO. It does inherit, Elder Scrolls Online does inherit the offline Elder Scrolls is here's a world, do whatever, sandboxy nature. It's one of the reasons why I started playing this game when the one Tamriel patch came out. Of course, there she is, my Dragon Knight healer, Celeste Fear Dragon. Can't go full screen in react mode. Moose Thunderbear the Ranger with 50 bazillion bear cubs. Let's just back it up. I'll just back it up and do like a director's commentary here. But yeah, so this is basically me making a music video with that comfy Christmas sweater song. Why this year? It was a 2021 song, super popular on Stream Beats, and everybody was using it in their streams and stuff like that last year. I ran out of time. I was working on other stuff. What do you want me to do? Make a happy-go-lucky Christmas video with a Christmas song that YouTubers were using at the time in January? Well, there's some other videos I want to make of this, but just one of the things too, that when I talk about the tech videos going legacy, they're kind of what they are. People know what to expect from them. There's certain expectations that I can't deviate from because people are looking for specifically that. It's like when you watch The Angry Video Game Nerd. You're gonna look for a guy in an angry old, now I guess now an old guy, an angry nerd guy with pens in his pocket and a pocket protector, cussing out games in a nerd room, and there's going to be a theme song at the beginning, and it's going to be well shot with good equipment and put together. That's where my tech videos have evolved. There's a style, that people have come to expect, and that's what they want to see every single time. And they'll keep coming back. They'll keep coming back despite it being the same because the story's different. So might make some tweaks here and there, but by and large, the tech videos are what they are. But the algorithm doesn't know what to do with them. And I have other ideas that go beyond those videos, like stuff like this. Also, some other things as well. Also, don't forget what happened to some other games that streamers have had a blast with. If you've watched GTA 5 RP, for example, that's like a whole new use for a game that came out nearly 10 years ago. What streamers have done with that game, with the role-playing and stuff, is awesome. And this is it. This is the whole thing with all of this. Let me just put something on the screen with this. Put the lighthouse on the screen. There we go. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a form of machinima. Machinima was an MCN during the heydays of the MCNs, but machinima was named after a type of art form where you use video games to create videos. So, the video games are not what it's about. The video games are a means to an end. This isn't about ESO and whether or not you like ESO. I'm telling the story of my characters as best I can given the limitations of the game through this stuff. So we have a happy, friendly, Christmassy video. Don't read too much into it. I wasn't really the biggest fan in the world of Lily Pichu's song either. It's kind of cutesy, a little too cutesy for my tastes, but it's nice. And we want to be nice around the holiday season. So it's a Christmas song, make a Christmas video. I decked out this lighthouse as like the Christmas player house, and I have Reshade set for this because it's not a stream, and I'm recording footage at 50 megabit bit rate. This will not suffer from a lot of the artifacting that I'm getting when I stream live. Matter of fact, I want to tune the encoding so it looks even better if I can somehow find a way around YouTube's issues and stuff like that. So this is an ESO jam. It's a cutesy little thing I wanted to do for the holidays. The algorithm doesn't know what to do with it. I've done all the metadata stuff. Here's some hashtags. Elder Scrolls Online, comfy Christmas sweaters, ESO jam. Not really play some stuff, but since play some stuff is my gaming videos, the name of my gaming videos, I actually put it in the playlist for it. But let's just do a director commentary on it now. So yeah, the player house and whatnot. I just wanted to practice doing this stuff. So I turned off the head bob on the camera. This is Lockhart Abbey, aka the Strident Springs place, which by lore is where Lauren and Adeline live, the Templar and Necromancer, although I might change that later. Panther Fang Chapel, of course, is Goodmane's castle, which I have decked out as a base of operations with services and everything. The most fleshed out player house I have in any game whatsoever is Panther Fang and ESO. I've been taking pictures, screenshots, putting them on Instagram, and I'm getting compliments because of the way this castle looks. I'm not one of those cobblers that makes things that don't exist in game out of house furnishings, but in terms of making my player houses look believable, like they're actually lived in or used for something, that's what I've been focusing on big time in ESO. So this is the dragon treasure behind the throne in Panther Fang. And that's Goodmane in his new golden blue paladin suit, getting away from looking like the ESO version of the Stig, which was my alabaster paladin look for years in this game until I got better dyes and, better armor dyes and stuff. Lauren in her plainclothes look at her place with service NPCs and that battle mage is a house guest. That battle mage is a house guest over at her place. Her place is very much a work in progress. But I have them as kind of like house guests instead of giving them desks. She dresses up and she goes off to Elena's lighthouse because Elena's out doing stuff and are kind of watching the house. So she's having a little party with all the Christmas stuff by herself. And then, of course, I'm trying to line it up with the lyrics. We got the cozy fire. She's having fun, but she's all by herself. So let's spruce things up with a little bit of romance from her lover. More zooming, photo montage type effects being applied to video. And of course, this is souped up graphics wise because of reshade. Some player pets, you can give those. You can give player pets paths too. Yeah, having a drink. This is Goodmane's upstairs fireplace in the castle. I tried making a cozy fireplace in Panther Fang, which doesn't have a fireplace by default. It's kind of contrived, doesn't look like it really fits in with the shape. How do you vent a fireplace like that? He decides he doesn't want to spend Christmas alone. He goes off to the lighthouse where she is. And she's like, come on in, honey. And they start having a party together and playing instruments. In different parts of that room, by the way. So this is basically flipping between switching characters to make it look like they're in the same room together. Despite the limitations of the game, you can only have one logged in at a time. So imagine if they let you create templates of characters wearing outfits or something and then have them do stuff. I mean, they'd have a machinima beast on their hands on par with The Sims if ZeniMax ever put that in the game. They say they want to release new systems yearly. I'm curious if they'd ever consider something like this, because there literally are people who are just decking out player houses in ESO all the time. They do a little bit of the other stuff, but primarily they buy through the Crown Store and they get in-game stuff in order to deck out all the player houses. And considering the prices of some of those castles, ZeniMax can make plenty of money off of people who go crazy with player housing. They've also improved player housing over the years from when I first started playing. She's up in the lighthouse. He's cooking something because fireplace s'mores. And then the couple is very nice to each other on Christmas. And that's where night falls. The two obviously have a relaxing night in front of the fireplace. And we go see Moose Thunderbear with a bunch of bear cubs, Ranger. Elena Hawkford out in the middle of the night in a snowstorm casting ice spells because she's an ice warden. Celeste Fear Dragon, playing with fire and hopefully not burning the house down. Gregorius Goodmane, the dark sorcerer in the evil castle. Featured in the Game of Thrones style intro and stuff like that. Some people have visited in game and they like the Daedric music box that adds even more chaos and stuff. Plus, Lyranth, the Dremora, who's always grumpy at you and stuff. And, as one of the house guest NPCs, I seriously think house guests are way too limited in ESO and they need to make more house guest slots for player housing. I realize it takes up server space, but make player housing come alive because there's people that play the game just for that. He's doing the same dumb dance he did last year. Adeline Lockhart, the necromancer, summoning an abyssal pearl out of the table. Kind of a dark magic type thing over at Lockhart Abbey. Ulfric von Moosehammer, a Nord tank Templar that I haven't leveled a lot yet, having fun at his cabin in Skyrim and having a big piece of chicken or whatever that is. And, Lord Archibald Cambule at the North Castle now. My old player house has now been decked out to kind of like show, the trophies from conquering dungeon monsters. There's more of a warrior type thing going on here. It's supposed to be based on Scotland being more, brusque compared to England and stuff. Because my late cousin was big on everything Scottish. Armsmaster Elusus at his beach castle in Strathmackay. Elusus Beach. I bought the castle because it has a beach. It's not that big either. So, after that, so it's the next day, and after that little montage of all the other characters, we see the very limited example. No, the characters aren't changing into each other. It's supposed to show the couple leaving the castle with crossfades, and they all go back to Panther Fang after watching the house overnight for Elena. Here they are returning to Panther Fang together, sitting on the couch in front of the fire upstairs with camera tricks, because we can't show them together. Here comes Elena coming home to the lighthouse and laughing because she knows what happened because they were watching the house for her, and she's having fun because it's Christmas. And warming up in front of the fire after being out casting all that ice magic in the middle of the blizzard. And this is cute. Back it up. This zoom. Very hard to place the camera here and just have it look like, we're taking a look at all the cookies and drinks on the table. That's a music box for the New Life Festival. You got all the candies and the giant spoons. It's cute. It's Christmassy. Zooms out to the lighthouse and then goes to the call to action screen for Merry Christmas. The thumbnail. Then viewers have the option of going to either the old Christmas video from last year and the Genesis of Legends. Let's actually look at both of them to round out the stream. Let's queue up Merry Christmas for my ESO characters. We got to get past the ads first because I'm not running the ad blocker in Firefox on the stream login, because I don't watch a lot of YouTube on the stream login, stuff like that. No, giving myself like a fraction of a cent Christmas present. Video will play after ad because it was an unskippable. All right. So this is what I made last year. You'll notice the colors are a lot duller because this is before I started using reshade, not browser mode. Give me reaction mode. Give me reaction mode here. In open fields, a big sunflower. Showing one of my stream replays. People watch replays. It's interesting. It's what happens when you move away from Twitch culture. This is what I made last year. Notice the huge difference in the colors. In the colors and everything. This has more of like a Scrooge coming to his senses theme to it. Aww. So cozy. There's no lyrics to this, so I can talk over it. It's from the Whitetow. And there are my characters out doing their own thing. With their own styles of combat and everything. But after saving the world and fighting evil, it's Christmas time. Time to come home. And chill in front of the fire. And have a party. Again with the same camera tricks. Because I can only have one character logged in at a time with some house guests standing around. And even Gregorius, an evil character, gets his heart warmed like Scrooge or the Grinch. Decides he doesn't want to be alone on Christmas. And decides to stop being a jerk and join the Christmas party. And we end with the cozy fire. Aww. Now, there was a Play Some Stuff version of this that I used for stream intros at the time that goes, "It's time to play some stuff." I think it was called the Play Some Stuff edition. Let's see here. It was something like that I did at the time. Let's see. Let's go back to Comfy Christmas Sweaters, and let's go to the Game of Thronesy style intro. Mute, because it's playing. Turn off closed captions, too. Why are the closed captions going? I've got a Starbucks ad now. That's what people are seeing. Hey, you know, all those little pennies add up, though. It's a passive income, and I can put it towards computer purchases, or I can tell you, as piddly as YouTube ad revenue is, the ESOJam version. No, this is the one I use as a stream intro. As piddly as that is getting in this day and age, the ad revenue since 2016 has saved me from going broke once already. So again, I can't thank people enough for letting the ads play, because the little bits that it's been has added up over time. Let's cue this up and let's watch this. This is, of course, my Game of Thronesy inspired stream intro. You might have seen this before. Can't use it anymore, though, because it's pre-reshade. Yes, I'll answer the hero's call, but I'm not playing Fortnite. Machinima. Three major castles, too. For good, neutral, and evil. Dungeons and Dragons style. Now tell me this. How much does your interest in ESO, or lack thereof, have to do with any of that? The answer? Nothing. It's medieval fantasy. There are times when I am inspired to create something that looks like a music video or looks like a movie trailer or something else. That's the essence of what Machinima is. And I've had these ideas floating around for the longest time. So yes, I have a backlog of tech videos to do. I have a backlog of games to play. I have all kinds of stuff. I just pretty much pick what I want to do at any given time. But that's the way this stuff works. The content, as a content creator, that you make the most, the content that you make as a content creator that you make the most is the stuff that you want to make. When you get to the point where you feel like you have to make something, you've created a very, very bad paying job, unless you're someone big. The heck is she doing? Santa? I'm not trying to get strikes on YouTube. Oh, it's enough of that. That's enough of that. I got the drop a long time ago, so I'll get that Ouroboros crown crate after this. But Dan says, I think player character NPCs would be cool. Guild Wars had that. That's what I did with my hero slots. You could generate them based on other characters you had. So I basically made this thing where all my characters are adventuring together. I just only control one of them. So, and I haven't seen that since the original Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2 didn't have it. And nope, I don't think anybody's done it. And then the companion system in ESO has fleshed out stories for all the characters like Miri, Alendis, and stuff. There is no real way to have like one of your characters be a companion to the character you're playing. Even if they're controlled by AI and have like, but the thing is, Final Fantasy had like programmable AI for certain characters. Do they want to run into combat? Do they want to stay in the back and cast spells? Do they want to heal? They want to do damage? They want to conserve magic? Do they want to blow everything as quickly as they can to burn the enemies down? It's like, you know, these things have existed in other games before. I really think if ZeniMax got a little bit more creative than what we've been seeing from them, we could probably see some better stuff from them with this kind of stuff. But that's what I'm looking at here. I know Elder Scrolls Online is pretty much a dull game right now. It's in the doldrums. There's a lot of problems with the leadership team. I consider High Isle to be the warlords of Draenor of ESO. There's such a disconnect right now with the devs. They released this letter. Not going to go over it tonight. We can save that for another night about what they're going to do to change things up. But I want to see them actually do something different, because we've had like overhyped and under-delivered from them before. But it reminds me of Warlords of Draenor. Full stop. So it absolutely reminds me of it, with devs being out of touch. That being the case, though, it's still a game where I feel like I can have decent characters in the world. It's not totally like Warlords in the sense of the gameplay being broken. It's just that there's so much potential being left on the table that ZeniMax could be doing to make this game more worthy of the Elder Scrolls title that it has on itself. Elder Scrolls games are about immersing yourself in another world and living another life. That's what Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim were certainly about. Create your character, and then when you beat the game, the world is your oyster and you can mod the living daylights out of it. You obviously can't do that with an MMO, but they could go for the immersion as well, the immersion and the believability of the world, as well as stuff like what I talked about with trying to make it so that you can actually make machinima type stuff in your player houses with your characters, or other stuff similar to that. There's plenty of potential being left on the table here. So when I make these videos, if you're not interested in ESO, understand this. I'm trying to make the most of a dull situation with this game. So I've got it modded via reshade to look a lot nicer than it does. So I have it modded to look a lot better with reshade than it does by default. So that makes it look good, take good screenshots, and record good videos if I don't try to compress them beforehand, which is a big reason why there was a quality improvement. I kept it at 50 megabit bit rate before uploading to YouTube, and YouTube just chopped things down. As opposed to, chest spasm again. Been sitting too long. Ugh. ESO and that kind of stuff. So I realize ESO is in the doldrums right now. I do realize that ESO is in the doldrums right now, but I'm trying to still do something with this game. Ugh. And Machinima is essentially, I did take some pain stuff earlier too. I'm probably gonna have to get this stuff back out as well. It's always in this spot where this muscle is, because I'm always having to turn when I'm on the equipment at work. And so sometimes this thing spasms because I'm like this a lot. You don't want to be in a situation where you're twisting all the time. Ow! Yeah, it's getting worse, and I try applying the icy hot to it. So pressure makes it worse as usual. I twist too much at work, and then it spasms on the weekend. Muscles, man. Friggin' pectoral muscles. Getting old sucks. Ugh. Yeah, it's right. It's this muscle right here that always gives me problems. Ugh. Getting old sucks. You suddenly get pain out of nowhere, and you're like, how the hell did I injure that? Another one I have is I lifted a thing on a trailer with just this arm like this, and I pulled this muscle here. So this will hurt from time to time as well. Okay, well, now that I feel like I'm getting poked with a letter opener, why don't we kind of wrap this crap up, shall we? So, when sucks. Should you call an ambulance? No, there'd be like tightness and other stuff, and I'd be having trouble breathing if it was a heart attack or something. This is muscle crap. It's always tied to movement or me not moving enough. It sucks. Ugh. Getting old, man. Takes balls to get old and find any way whatsoever to manage it properly. Sucks. I turned 40. My definition of old was 40 and up, being over 40. And like it all came in at once. Of course, it didn't help that I got smacked in the head at work a couple of months ago. And I've had recurring issues ever since with headaches and panic attacks. And the doctor had to put me on an antidepressant to take the edge off of things so I wouldn't like fight or flight and tense up for no reason. Man, aches and pains, baby. All right, enough complaining about me being old. So yeah, when I make these videos, yeah, seeing how it goes away in like 5 minutes. It would be, if it was more serious, I'd still be having just as many problems as I was 5 minutes ago. Getting old sucks. Okay. My dad's going to crack up when he sees that I'm saying this as much as he does. So, when I make these videos based on ESO, I mean, if I stream ESO, yeah, I mean, if you're interested in ESO, I'll try to do commentary on it and stuff like that. And try and, you know, keep it running commentary going on the game like I've been doing with gaming videos and other stuff for years. But Machinima stuff that uses the game as a means to an end, you might like it even if you don't care about ESO, because it's medieval characters with some style and stuff. If you're into medieval fantasy of any kind, you might find that a bit more interesting, even if ESO is not really your cup of tea. So that's why I want to come on here and spend some time talking about this, to try and clear the air. So people don't think that I've contracted a new case of randomitis. I know I can get random on this channel. I even have a playlist. I even have a series called MultimediaJay Random Style for stuff that's really out in left field. But it's just all part of what I do here. Multimedia is a big tent. It's a big umbrella. It involves talking about content creation. It involves making stuff. It involves building gaming PCs. It involves showcasing those gaming PCs and what they can do, including game streams. I really think that the overly insular computer hardware community on YouTube is being a little too close-minded. They're too used to people whose channels are a never-ending cacophony of tinkering with processors and motherboards and graphics cards. And there actually are channels that are always testing games all the time, comparing frame rates, frame times, the whole 9 yards. But what if you're into technology and you like making videos and you just want to have some fun from time to time? This goes back to the Airiesummer discussion from earlier. Airi inherently likes helping people calm down and be happier and work with like relaxation and meditation and stuff. Her channel is videos that are similar to ASMR, relaxed meditation-y type stuff. When she goes on Twitch, she's streaming games in that style. I could go on Twitch and, you know, do what I do, but we know the differences between YouTube and Twitch. And YouTube is working on improving YouTube gaming, as we've seen with some of their attempts to build a culture on here, with stuff like my new favorite emoji, this blue guy, this blue smiley guy, which I think is as cute as the Peepo Pepe frog things over on Twitch. Dan says, yeah, playing with hardware is nice, but I find all the time is boring. Yeah, well, literally, just like, how many times can you watch a video about new processors before you're like, look, am I really going to build a new computer anytime soon? It's like, do I need to know that Core i3s can be used for gaming in these specific circumstances over and over again? I'm mostly watching the engineering of the new types of processors like the Ryzen 7 series and the new generation of the rectangular Intels, see if they ever improve the designs of those things. I can't for the life of me imagine myself building a system with them because they both have thermal and other drawbacks right now. Much like when the original Core I's came out. But second generation, things got amazing. We'll have to see if there's another Sandy Bridge moment. So, if I built a computer, it would be a budget system with 5700X Ryzen and hardware that's probably going obsolete soon. But even that would be better than my Skylake, because my Skylake has years on it at this point. I'm hitting the limits when I stream with the CPU. And let's just say I would have hit him sooner if I did what everyone told me to do in the middle of the last decade and used a Core i5. You don't need a Core i7 to game, but I edit videos together, and multi-core took off when Ryzen got itself established. We now talk about our systems like workstations and servers now. There is no more all you need is 4. Thank goodness. Those days were pretty stagnant. Much like the last time Intel did that. 350 at the Geek House. I'm going to give my voice a rest. And this will probably be the last stream, the last chat stream in the #1 parking spot. And I'm nearly, what am I at? 2 hours, 53 minutes into the stream. And I never said, welcome to the Late Night Nerd Lounge. Well, better late than never. I took some time off this week, so I'm on a little mini vacation. I'm getting stuff done around the house. But this chat stream, probably going to be the #1 parking spot for chat streams for quite some time. Might play some games, but I got to do some freaking videos. In order to declutter this house, I need to do videos. Some of it might be very time sensitive too, like involving mobile devices and lithium batteries too. I had a scare with that with a poofy battery in the smartphone I was using as an alarm clock yesterday. Had to discharge the hell out of that thing and then rush it off the town recycling thing so it would be somewhere outdoors and it could get recycled properly. So I have stuff that needs to be done. And I have videos I want to make. And you know how I am. I hate when I have ideas bouncing around in my head for way too long. Plus, I have that tech video I've been working on since October. It's mid-December now. Enough with the streaming! Well then, I hope this nearly 3-hour discussion gives people plenty of things to think about for the foreseeable future. While I pursue all things MultimediaJay besides sitting here rambling about stuff. I don't really want to be a Devin Nash clone. Always sitting here analyzing data and doing this type of stuff. There's more that I could be doing. I'm a YouTuber and proud of it. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by and have a safe and happy holiday season, everybody.